Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Is that correct?
Dati mihi Anglican po in service of the from sake.
Good morning and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addict. Welcome back. Oh, it is good to be back. It's good to be back. It is good to have Mrs. R.A. back, too. She made it back safely, and then we made it back just in time for all the tornado warnings yesterday. And had some crazy weather. I shared it with Thomas that he shared on his channel. He shared a little update. He did a couple live streams last night. If you missed Weather Watch's live streams, you have to go back and watch them. It's a rule. I'm sorry. You have to go watch them. They're not that long, and they're great information. Unfortunately, the rough weather is not over. I guess we get some more later this week, and it could be worse. So, let's see. Where's my sound? There. That sounds a little better. That's a little loud. Kids have been playing with the knobs, I think. I'm going to blame this on them. It was probably me, but either way. Welcome. So good to have everybody here. I will say that the weather last night was a little crazy. I was out filming. I did a whole bunch of little videos of it. I shared the video clip with Thomas, and then I also shared it on X, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, as everyone refers to it. And ABC reached out to me and said, "Hey, did you film this? Can we use it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Yeah, you can use it. So I don't know if you saw my footage on ABC somewhere. Let me know, because they didn't tell me where. They said they'd give me credit on the feed, but it may have never made the air. Anyway, it was raining like crazy here. It poured, and a little bit of wind, some gusts. I've got quite a few shingles in my yard, which is what my house does. It sheds shingles. That's because it's old and it needs a new roof, but it sheds shingles. Might have to call the insurance company, but can't afford that call right now. So we're going to pretend like nothing happened for just a little while. Also, let's see. You should have made a quid pro quo for access to all of ABC's footage. Greeners, this was my opportunity. I could have said, sure, as long as I get unrestricted access. I should have gone bigger. I should have said, you as a representative of the Associated Press, to which you're a member, as long as I get access to everything the Associated Press has, we're good. I'm sure they would have just signed off on that in a heartbeat. Very windy. It's windy here as well. It's cool. It's colder now than it was yesterday during the storm, which is weird because today, of all days, is...
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day! Welcome to Wednesday. I felt right before I did the day part that I could not go as high as I normally do. And I probably shouldn't have gone that high. Oh, I'm dying. I am back. Abby, good to be back. Wonderful to be here. I have to give a big shout out to Amy R., who was first in chat this morning. Thank you very much, Amy. Congratulations. I think you and about 25 other people were here within the first minute, which is wonderful. But you were here first, and being here first has its own prestige. Privilege, even punishment, dare we say. Yes, Amy, for being first in chat, we're going to send it to you with internet ownership, and you are responsible for maintaining everything IP-related worldwide. It's an easy task. Everyone before you has been able to do it reasonably successful, so I think you're going to be able to step in and fill that role as well. Congratulations, Amy. Love to have you first in chat. Congratulations on doing that, and good luck. And so, good night and good luck, right? So good luck with the internet. I just noticed, and I put them back on the screen. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Let's see. We had a buffer. I need to read the buffers right when they come in because I lose them. So just one second. Let's see. Ooh, we have some birthdays. I was going to say we had Oda Marie gifted a membership before we went live, and it went to Reverend Beasy. if I remember correctly. Odie Marie, I'm not sure if I can even see. Can I scroll up far enough to see it? I can't. I wish I could put it on the screen. But Odie Marie, thank you for your gifted membership. Reverend Beasy, I'm sure is quite chuffed with being selected as the winner for that one. Thank you very much. It looks like we have some birthdays as well. Amara, she's 3 today. Happy birthday. That's a big 3. JB Baseball Mom is 55 today. Congratulations, JB Baseball Mom. And then Oda Marie gifted the membership before we went live. So we just got the 2 birthdays that we know of. Anybody else that wants to be included in the birthday singing? Cold and froggy in Sweden. Why did I say froggy? Foggy in Sweden. Shingle replace is better than the roof taken off. Angie, I think I need to do both. I think I need to tear my existing roof off and then replace all of the shingles. But the problem with my house, first of all, it was built in 1915, right? And so the design that was really cool in 1915, it's still cool now. I like the design. I like the look. It's a unique style. But the roof is a 12-12 pitch, which means it's just as steep as it is flat. Well, it's halfway between a straight wall and flat roof, right? So it's 12-12 pitch. For every 12 inches you go over, it goes up 12 inches. And very, very steep, which means that that it takes a brave soul to get on that roof because it's basically like a slip and slide year-round. And it's a tall 2 stories, plus it's got this little attic thing on top. So it's about 2.5-story drop down onto scattered bricks, which is what they surrounded our house with, decorated with. So it's not a soft landing by any means. And getting somebody up there to replace or even to inspect it, they want like all sorts of safety equipment, harnesses, trucks, lifts, and things like that. And so getting the whole house replaced, the roof replaced, by my estimate. And I say by my estimate, meaning I've talked to several people who've looked at it and said how much it's going to cost. It's only about $30,000 to replace the roof. And I told them I already bought the house. I didn't want to buy it again. But no, that's just the cost of the roof. So we're going to hold off for a little bit unless there's water leaking in. We'll see what's happened. Did we bring the kitty inside? No, but the kitty jumped from the ground up onto my shoulder and proceeded to plant all the claws in my shoulder last night during the rainstorm. Well, it meowed cutely, I might add. So it was not a fan. I stayed out there with the cat for most of the storm. And then we moved its house into a little protected area, and it stayed in there. It was fine. Okay, so we have to sing birthday wishes. Let's see. I didn't see any others. If you're replacing the roof, check the chimney, because the chimneys from that period might have elements that are banned today. Oh, my house is banned today. My house has... what are they called? Those little glass insulators and bare wires for like the equipment that is running right now is running electricity over uninsulated bare lines over glass insulators through our walls. No grounds. That's how we roll. So my whole house is pretty much banned that way. If we did replace the roof, the chimneys would come down because our chimneys are 9 fireplaces, because I think we have 9 fireplaces in this house. Every room has its fireplace. They're those shallow coal fireplaces. Like, you can't burn logs in there. You can only burn, like, coal in a little, like, weird chute. But all of the 9 fireplaces, they funnel into 2 chimneys. We get rid of all of them because we're never going to light a fire in those chimneys. Anyway, yes, 9 fireplaces. Think of 9 places where drafty wind can blow in and bugs can enter the house. That's what I view them as. They're not really fireplaces. Knob and tube wiring, pretty much. It's old. It's old. Your electrical fire waiting to happen. M. Young, I probably shouldn't share all this information, but when I tried to get insurance on my house when I first bought it, I thought this should be good because we got a good deal on the house, which is great. I was able to buy it for less than what I had sold my other house for, and that's the only reason we were able to do what we did. And I went to get insurance, and they wanted me to get insurance at 4 times the home's value, which is a lot of money, tons of money that they wanted. And I mean, we're talking many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I could not figure out why. And so I was asking them, and they said, well, the problem is your house was built in a time period where the craftsmanship was incredible. I mean, you've got like Greek key inlaid floors and Lloyd, Frank, Wright, whatever stained glass windows and the sunshine arch over the entrance doors and all these things. They say they don't make those things anymore, and getting someone to replace them would cost a fortune. So, unfortunately, everything costs a fortune. I don't know why we're talking about about my house. Oh, because it just about blew away in the windstorm last night. That's right. So that would probably be the best scenario, is if the house were to blow away and all of us to be safe. That would be the best. All right. Our Airbnb is current, though. It's permitted. It's all up to code. We were going to sing Happy Birthday, and now we started talking about Frank Lloyd Wright's. It's actually a knockoff, but we have one of his a knockoff from that period. The stained glass windows in our house that air blows through as well. Did you use the 1915 building code for Airbnb? Yes, we did. No, Airbnb is current. We've got everything grounded properly. What's the little push button switches, the 2-foot spacing for all the plugs in the kitchen. You name it. We've got the best. It is the best of the best. All right. Does anyone know where we're going today? We're going to start with the document, Dr. SB. We've got a couple things happening. We've heard that Judge Boyd has a jury trial that begins today, and we'd like to watch that. She usually has some shorter jury trials that last a day, 2, maybe 3 days long. So we'd like to watch that as we're waiting for some of the other cases to really take off. We're starting with. I called this the judge ordered what? Because we're starting with Bryan Kohberger this morning after we sing. I can't forget. Okay. Oh. Two more to the birthday list. Can I have the whole list all together again? Is that a huge ask? Let's see. Nicholas. Happy birthday to Nicholas. I think that's what it means. And then Ricky Watson. Ricky! How are you doing, my friend? Now I need the other two from up before. Just one second. Let me find the previous buffer sound. Yes, your estimate is correct, says Reverend Beasy. Yes, it's ridiculous. The problem is the house has so many hips and valleys and dead valleys and little dormers and cool designs. It looks amazing. The roof looks amazing. It's just not practical for shingling. I did catch a lot of the interview with Dr. Joe last night. Did a great job. I get real food again, and I'm so excited, Ann. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm trying to find other. Here's the other ones. Oh, Amara and JB Baseball Mom. JB Baseball Mom, you know that my B button does not work on my keyboard, right? So your name is incredibly difficult to type. Okay, so we have Nicholas, Ricky Watson, Amara, and JB Baseball Mom. That's who we're singing to so far this morning. If there's anyone else, let me know. We'll add them to chat to the list right now. Good morning, RA Chat and Mods. Thank you, K-Pick. Appreciate you. Thanks for the 3 months of support. Marcy C. Can I be adopted grandma if you have space for me? Love you loads. Marcy, thank you so much. Another buffer. Knob and tube wiring. That's it. Okay. Amara. Okay, I'm going to have to... Amara. Okay, we've got Amara in there. Where's the buffer sound from? Why is my sound so quiet on here? Oh, my kids turned it down. There we go.
Squirrel!
Yes, the fireplaces. Luckily, they all have those metal covers, decorative, insert covers. So they're covered for the most part, but they still are quite drafty. When the wind blows outside like it did yesterday, your hair inside gets ruffled. I mean, you could be sitting in a room with the doors, windows closed, and your hair will still be fluttering in the breeze because my house is like a sieve that way, which means it's wonderfully fun to try to heat during the winter and also just as equally difficult to cool during the summer. All right. Let's see. Try insuring a home in Florida. Okay, I'm not complaining because they just can't. The insurance companies just say, nope, we don't do that anymore. We've played that game and we lost over and over. Okay, just 1 second. I thought there was another buffer sound, but I'm not seeing where it was. Are we ready to sing good happy birthday? It says my sister's birthday today. Karen. Karan, not Karen. Okay. Karan? We're going to add Karan to it. Okay, last chance to correct me, and I think I've probably made some mistakes on this one. Mandy Strong, happy morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. 4 months. 4 months is wonderful. G. Elkram, good morning. 2 months from you as well. Thank you so much. I love seeing your support, seeing those courthouses change colors. Thank you so much. It would not be the same without you here. Thank you. Okay, I think we're just going to sing with what we've got here. So let me tell you one more time. I've got Nicholas, Ricky Watson, Amara, JB Baseball Mom, and Karan. Is that it? Let's see, Diana. Do we add Diana to the list? I'm going to add Diana because I assume you put buffer on there. Only the mods can actually trigger the buffer sound. But I realized that's probably what it was for, Alita. So thank you very much for that. We'll put Diana on there, and I think we're about ready to sing. I think we're ready to sing. Is everybody warmed up from the birthday or from the hump day yell? La 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 la. I think it'll work. Okay, places, people, shoulders back, eyes on me. Remember, blend with your neighbor. Remember your parts. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nicholas, Ricky Watson, Amara, JP Baseball Mom, Karen, Diana, Karan, Adriana. Happy birthday to you. I called you Karen, I'm sorry. I tried to get everyone in on one verse. Can we also keep an ear out for a verdict for Teresa Black? Yes, let us know what happens there. I have not been following that one. But to everyone who's celebrating birthdays, you just got sung to by one of the most diverse and broadly located choirs in the world. Right here on the Recovery Addict channel. Blake, I just remember very carefully the instructions I did not follow when I was in choir. So it was, I remember I sang in the junior high choir. That was the last choir in school that I was able to participate in because of my grades. Believe it or not, my grades were not as fantastic as you all are. And I had a lot of fun during school. And so when I wanted to do fun things like choir, which I enjoy singing, that was not an option because I had to do hard things like retake math and science classes, which I had done poorly in. So, Lindsay, we heard you singing. It was beautifully. Thank you so much. Blended beautifully. I love that high harmony. The little falsetto thing was even better. I mean, that was a high note. That was really cool. I think that's happy birthday, Ricky. Of course, wonderful. I hummed because I'm dealing with the headache this morning. I'm sorry, Joe. And on a hump day as well. My apologies. My apologies to you. Tori, the seed lady, thank you so much. Appreciate that, all the kind wishes for the birthday people. If you're celebrating your birthday today, thank you for being here. I realize there are many places you could celebrate, and being here with us is very special. It warms my heart. And if there's anything we can do to make your birthday a little better, other than singing to you poorly, in my case, let me know. Amber Saker, happy birthday, everyone. Love being here. Appreciate that, Amber. It's a great way to start the morning by singing to people. I mean, it's wonderful. I do envision that at one point we will have gone a whole year of sung to basically everybody. And so everyone could say that they were sung to. But I also, at one point, had this great idea that maybe I could start another channel that's just me singing happy birthday to each person individually. And I realized that would be a lot of birthday songs. And as I started thinking, that would be really a kind thing to do, a nice gesture, it quickly evolved from that to how could I involve AI to make this a little bit easier and have a computer fix the voice. And then it got less personal, so I decided not to do that. All right. My son's 17th birthday today also. Sherry, tell your son happy birthday. 17's a fun time in life, so it only comes around once, Weather Watch killed it last night, says Dean Sparks. He did. He did a great job. He's a natural at this. He really is. We're super excited for him. SOS, welcome to the gallery, Green Courthouse. Thank you very much. Reverend Beasy says, through the grace of gifts only, thank you all so very much. Reverend Beasy, we have one of those amazing communities here. You are also one of those amazing community members. I'm sitting here looking at my emotional support zebra that you sent me. Thank you very much for your generosity as well. Love that you got gifted a membership today. Weather Watch is really awesome. I agree. There you go. I honestly wanted to do over. Thomas, no, it's one of those, what is it, the Anchorman comments? It's like, screw it, we'll do it live. Yeah, that's the way it rolls. You just have to go with it. Whatever mistakes happen, and then just be okay with it. I make it a point to try to never rewatch all my mistakes. That way I can just pretend like they didn't happen. The only way I can have my membership also. Wonderful, Candace. I appreciate that. We have some great people that gift memberships, and it's wonderful to see. Love it. All right. How can I gift a membership here on YouTube? I cannot find out how I can. Luca, the gifting membership button, if you look at chat on the bottom, there's a little, it's like a dollar bill sign. I would say if you do it on an Apple device, it costs more than if you do it on a computer. If you're on iOS, if you're on an iPhone, if you're on an iPad, and you click on that, it will charge you like a surcharge that just goes straight to Apple. And it's cheaper by about 30% if you do it on a computer. And neither one, it doesn't change what the creator, what I get on that end, or what YouTube gets. It's just an extra surcharge you're paying to Apple if you do it on an iOS device. But that's where you can find it. You can click on that membership button. All right. If you'd love a gifted membership, make sure you type !gifts. Only one person has to do it. So someone types !gifts in chat. That's gift with an S. And there will be a link that pulls up. Just make sure you've changed your setting to receive membership gifts on this channel to turned on. So you move the button slider to the right, and then you can leave it there. And then YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, may or may not gift you a membership the next time one's gifted. So thank you. H-Frame, that was it right here. I think caps works as well. It doesn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase. And just wait for the Recovery Addict response right here. That's the link you need to click on. That'll take you to the page to check and make sure your setting is turned on. And if it is, you just need to leave it. You only have to do it one time. Okay, let's see. To avoid the Apple charge, you just open YouTube in your browser. Apple charges if you use an app. Yeah, sometimes though, if you have the YouTube app and you try to open YouTube in the browser, it may default you back to the YouTube app. So just be careful. Luca, worked beautifully. Thank you very much. Let's see, where did that one go? Went to P-Will for real. Awesome, P-Will, and thank you very much, Luca, for the gifted membership. All right, let's jump over to where we want to go to start today, and that is with the Bryan Kohberger case. And I realize that Peter Tragos, the lawyer you know, covered this beautifully. And I'm not trying to improve upon anything he does, because basically the way he does it is fantastic, and I have nothing to offer beyond that. But I do want to talk about it a little bit because my take's a little bit different on some of the things, and I want to get your opinion as well. But we're going to jump over to the Bryan Kohberger announcement that just came out from the judge just a couple days ago. So we're just catching up on this one. Still early January posting from the judge in the BK case, and I apologize. They use a very light font. I guess their printer must be like running out of ink or something. So it's light. It's a little hard to read, but we're going to go over this briefly. Rebecca Zooks, happy to catch you live as I'm doing night shift work at 1:30 a.m. here in Melbourne, Australia. Oh man, if you care, what sort of shift do you work? Are you what sort of field do you work in? Only if you're willing to share. You don't have to. You can't outdo Peter's hair. There's nobody.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
There's nobody that can outdo Peter's hair. I mean, he is the Fabio of LawTube. And now I realize we have Ian Runkle, who was what I would say as a close second, but Ian is Gandalf, where Peter is Fabio, and both impressive in their own rights, but definitely different fields or genres, I guess, that they're representing. All right, we are going to start. Yes, what did the judge do in the BK case? Okay, first of all, let's go back a little bit, because towards the end of last year, we got some indicators from the judge, and this is Judge. That's his name. It was like he was born for this job, I guess. But he he gave some indicators that he was not happy with the coverage, the media coverage that had been occurring in Idaho specifically. And I think he had been watching the Lori Vallow issue, and so he was well aware of what happened in the Lori Vallow case, where Court TV had zoomed in on, we're talking like close up on the eyeball. It's like, is the tear duct glistening? Does that indicate some sort of remorse? There were some very close ups of Lori in almost like an invasive way. I mean, there's a point where you stop zooming because now you're too close, right? And the judge basically said in that case that now you're too close. You've zoomed in too much. You're too close. Now you're invading her privacy, even though she's in a public place. It's a weird law because, you know, the Supreme Court hasn't caught up to what technology can do as far as cameras are concerned. So basically, if you read the law, and I'm not giving you legal advice here, so please consult a lawyer on this. But if you are standing in a public place where you have the right to be, in most cases, you also have the right to film or take pictures of what you can see. I'm sure there are some exceptions we could bring up and point out, but that's like the general rule. So you're walking along the sidewalk and you see something and you're like, hey, that's interesting. I want to photograph it. Even if it's on private property, fair game. Somebody out driving their car, fair game. You can take pictures of that. And so here in the courtroom where we've got the media is allowed to be, and they've got these cameras and they're allowed to be there to take they're allowed to cover this. They're using very good lenses with the ability to just reach out and just grab details that the casual observer may not be able to see from, you know, their seat across the room. And so we're able to get more information or see better with the camera than we can with our own eyes. And so the judge has been watching the coverage, especially in the BK case, and those moments when Bryan Kohberger walks into court, like as he first walks through the door and he's being led, that's like the key moment because that's the only time he's really facing the camera. And so we've got shots of him walking in handcuffed. We've got zooms in on the wrist, and it zooms in on his face and on his neck. Did he cut himself shaving, or was he in a fight? And why is his fly, you know, a quarter of an inch down? And we've got all these photos that are still. I mean, looking at Jennifer Coffee Ender just barely posted one on Twitter. Just what was this? This was her in January, but she's got a post here with 4 pictures of Bryan Kohberger. Actually, one is a picture of the Superman guy, but talking about lax security, and he's zoomed in on everything, on all the details. You can see his flies down on one of her pictures. And the judge is saying there's a point where the cameras are too much, where what you're seeing is beyond what is allowed to be seen or should be shown. Now we're crossing that line. So he issues he sort of makes a statement, says, hey, let me tell you where I stand on this. Okay, first of all, Bryan doesn't want any cameras in the courtroom. We're going to allow cameras in the courtroom, but I'm going to make a ruling to control those cameras. And so we're all sitting on pins and needles thinking,
kick back, taking it easy.
Thank you. We're all sitting on pins and needles thinking, what is he going to do? How is he going to control the cameras? I mean, what sort of control will he exert? Well, he sends this filing out. This was on the 5th that the judge put this out. This is an amended order governing courthouse and courtroom conduct.
Nail it, Murdoch stole it.
And just so you know, the judge controls courtroom and courthouse conduct in a big way. The judge has that discretion to issue rules to say, okay, this is the way it's going to be in my house, in my room. This is how it's going to be.
When are we going to break for lunch?
Joe says, Lawyer You Know is the first channel I started watching and then added more channels from recommendations. Love Peter in the community just like this channel. Thank you, Joe. Peter is fantastic. Really, I didn't realize we were both vacationing in the same part of North Carolina at the same time, or I would have stalked him and taken his picture surreptitiously. No, just kidding. I think he was out skiing and I was just enjoying a cabin with my family, but we were in the same part of the state. So judge issues this order because he can control it, and he weighs the different. I said weigh. I'm not sure why. He weighs the different aspects that need to be measured and considered here, and he divides them into 4 areas. He says the court's mindful of the need to balance the constitutional right of the defendant, that's Bryan Kohberger, in his right to a fair hearing. Okay, the public's right to information, in conjunction with the constitutional and statutory rights of the media to attend the proceedings. Okay, so the media has a right as well. The public has this right. The court's interest, third party, the court's interest in maintaining order and an environment that permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions. And the court's interest in safety, which is basically the sheriff who's responsible for the safety in the courtroom. Interest in the safety of the public and court personnel and the need to follow Idaho Supreme Court orders, which may be changed and amended from time to time. That Idaho Supreme Court order does supersede the judge's orders. But the judge can sometimes go against that order if he cites the right reasons. Not like against, but the order allows the judge to make exceptions to some of those orders. So he's got these four competing interests. And the constitutional right of the defendant for a fair trial, this is basically saying the defendant has the right to a jury that is not slanted, that has not like seen all the evidence before the trial begins or seen what they think is the evidence or, already made their opinion up. So they're saying seal everything, lock it down. No information gets out, right? And that would be in the best interest of Bryan Kohberger. But the public, who pays the taxes, who foots the bill, who pays the judge's salary, pays for the courthouse, votes the representatives in that make these laws, they have an interest as well. They're saying we want to make sure that things are happening the way they should, and they're allowed to be there. And so we have to allow the public to be able to see what's going on as well. If it was all just the public's, if the judge ruled solely in the interest of the public, it would be wide open. Every court document that was filed, open to the public. Everyone could get a copy, post it online for everyone to see when it happened. Of course, then you lose Bryan Kohberger's right to a fair trial, so there has to be a balance there. Now you've got the third interest of the court, just trying to maintain order. And we've seen courts like this before that have been a circus, right? Just like with so many cameras and so many microphones and cables and people are walking and tripping over things. The judge has to say, look, at some point, too much is too much. We need to draw the line. And so he also weighs this interest, saying we need to, just to be able to function and make sure court can progress as it should in a fair manner without distractions. We need to draw the line somewhere. And the fourth one is obviously the bailiffs, with the safety of the public in court. They have to be able to monitor. If somebody's going to pull a Superman stunt, it would be a lot easier to pull in a crowded room with cables and wires and equipment all over the place where it's just difficult to get to people and stop something from happening. So all those things in mind, judge orders this, and he says, I'm going to give, first of all, seating to the families, the victims, defendant's family, court personnel. Sorry, let me change this view so it'll continuously scroll. There we go. Seating for the families is reserved for them. After that, everything else is open to the general public and the media. Okay, no reserving seats. First come, first serve. You want to be here, you want to have a seat, get here early, right? No standing in front of the bar. Okay, you just got the attorneys and everybody up there. Nobody else goes up there unless they're authorized by the court. During the court, I don't want distractions, right? No entry and exit. I don't want people standing up and running out and texting something. Okay, this just happened. Running back in, listening, running back out, texting. This just happened. It's like, no. If you get up and leave, you stay out until the next break. And once we're in session, let's just keep those doors shut unless we have to let a witness in. So it's going to be a much more toned down court. Even the hearing I went to with Judge Carroll down in Florida when I was down there, I was able to get up and leave and come back several times during court and address technical things that were going on or answer a question or go out and get a drink or something in those hours, even between the hearings. Now you want to be respectful with that, but this judge is saying we're not going to allow any distractions that way. Rebecca, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships. Appreciate that. Thank you. Wonderful to have you here. Appreciate your generosity. I want to see who those went to. Let's see, I'm so far behind on the chat. I can't even see them. I don't know where they went. Thank you, Rebecca. So we have that. Now he says cell phones. We're going to permit cell phones. Now you're like, yay, we get our cell phones. As long as they're turned off, not just in airplane mode, turned off all the way and out of view. So if we see your cell phone, it's a problem and we're going to take it away. Even if it's just, in your hand at the time. Turned off and in your hand. Which where else would it be? It could be either in your pocket. It can't be in your purse or backpack because guess what? Those aren't allowed either. Okay, no backpacks, no purses, no bags. We're not going to have somebody with a purse and the phone hiding in there, texting with one hand on Twitter. It's like, hey, here's the latest that's happening. He says no. So a phone has to be completely turned off, which makes it useless, right? And they said, note that shall not be used for texting, emailing, recording, transmitting audio, images, or written accounts of the proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, or other similar platforms or websites while inside the courtroom. So let me just present this. Do you see any way around this restriction? I don't see one with the phones, and I'm not trying to find a way around this, but I'm just wondering. And I'm asking this question because always the law is trying to catch up with technology, right? As we move forward in technology, and our abilities to do things are greater. Okay, the law has to catch up. We have, for example, we have a law that says you can't search someone's house without a search warrant. Basically, you have to have reasonable suspicion, to be able to get that warrant and search someone's house. Well, now we have technology that an officer driving down the street could literally search their house through the walls remotely and see, hey, look, they've got a marijuana grow room in that room, because that heat, it's 120 degrees in that room. I don't even have to go in. That is an unreasonable search that technology made available. Okay, so we've got did he cover watches? Yes, smart watches. He said computers, laptops, and other similar devices are, well, let me back up. Let me go back just 1 second. Oh, we're on the other computer over here. Cell phones are permitted, must be turned off. If the watch has cell technology, I believe that might be considered a cell phone. But he did not specifically mention that. That's going to be a gray area, and probably you don't want to be the guinea pig for finding that out. But here he goes on. Now he says computers, laptops, and other similar devices are permitted in the courtroom for note-taking only. So we're talking iPads, laptops, computers, tablets. They are allowed. You're like, what? No cell phones, but you can't have a computer? Yes. Only for note-taking. Where do you take your notes? What do you do to take your notes? Do you open like a notepad? Do you open Word? Do you open Google Docs? Let's say you use Google Docs, okay? Because we use that. We've used that on this channel, right? We use that because I opened it up and I wanted to put some information on there, and I also shared the link to you so you could also put information on there. Now what happens? Now we have somebody in the court writing on Google Docs their notes, and somebody else outside the court who is getting those notes simultaneously. This is what I'm saying, that the technology has not caught up with the capabilities of the day. And so literally you could have someone taking notes permissibly in the court to a Google document, and those notes being transmitted outside by somebody else, and possibly even legally, depending on how strictly you look at this ruling, and shared online that way. So anyway, fun stuff that way. Mandy Strong says he's allowing the most distracting thing, which is laptops for note-taking. It's the most irritating sound. Please bring silent keyboards. No mechanical keyboards, please. No mechanical keyboards. Click, 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 click. Old school pen and paper, that's the way to go. You can never go wrong with that. Let's see. But let's go on a little bit, because the part that really interests us, sorry, I keep using the wrong mouse pad. I'm trying to use this computer, and it's the one over here. The part that interests us is that, let's see, let me finish this part. Electronic devices shall not be used to email, chat, record, or transmit audio, images, or written accounts of the proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, or other similar platforms or websites while inside of the courtroom. Does that include Google Docs? Violation of this rule may result in confiscation of the device by the court, a bailiff, or other court personnel, because Google Docs is not going straight out to a social media platform, which is what he's listed here. All social media platforms. But a shared document might get around that. We'll see what people do. Disruptive behavior. Basically, the bailiff can kick you out. The court can kick you out at any time for anything they want. Just know that. And then we've got this big one. This is the coverage. Video recording, still photography, audio recording, prohibited. No video recording, still photography, or audio recording is permitted by members of the media or the public as ordered by the court in the November 17th, 2023 order denying second motion to intervene and granting defendant's motion to remove media cameras from the courtroom. A live stream of the proceedings will be provided by the court and will be available in real time on the court's YouTube page. Here's the link. Yay, there's the court's YouTube page. We're going to watch that. The media and the public may capture and use the live stream video and audio footage, but are strictly prohibited from altering the footage in any way. Can he do this? And I'm asking this I'm not like challenging his authority, but I'm honestly asking, can the judge release something publicly and then say what you can do with it? Can he say, no, you First Amendment people, you are allowed to use it, but you can only use your First Amendment right to free speech in the way that I want you to, which is exactly the way I said it. I released it in this format. I won't allow you to zoom in on the defendant. I won't allow you to zoom in on the defendant. I won't allow you to change that footage in any way. Let me tell you what's going to happen. And I'm not saying I'm challenging him directly. I believe in following the court's admonitions 100%. But you know what is going to happen? Is as soon as that live stream goes up, people will be posting pictures. They will be zooming in. There will be Twitter pictures of people who've zoomed in on the court feed to see details they've drawn from that. There are going to be people. I've in previous cases I've used a court feed like this to zoom in to just show one of the multiple pictures that are on a Zoom feed. So we say we just want to see the defendant. We just want to see, say for instance, Letitia Stout. We wanted to see her during the case, and we zoomed in on that, just on Letitia Stout. I don't think we did so in a manner that was disruptive or inappropriate, but the judge is saying that's not okay. Jessica says, all I'm hearing is, yes, we get live streaming. We do, but know that someone, I'm not saying us, not us, someone is going to break this rule, and it will be broken probably minute one of day one of footage. It will be broken immediately. And do you know what's going to happen? The people who break that rule will go viral. They will get a ton of attention because everybody knows the judge said not to do this. So we're zooming, but we can't zoom in. Right. No overlays, no cropping. What case? Jade, this is Bryan Kohberger, the Idaho 4 murders. So, Heather, I think you're onto something here. The judge, I think, cannot prevent this. I don't think first of all, I don't think he has subject matter jurisdiction. You're going to have this both internationally and nationally, locally, people breaking this rule, and he won't be able to arrest them all or send out warrants and file, charge them with contempt of court. It's just he cannot control it. But what he can control, what is in his authority, is removing cameras from the courtroom. And that's the only way I see this ending, unfortunately. This ruling that looks like, on paper, right here in front of us, it looks like everybody gets access. Everybody can use it. Everybody can live stream it. It doesn't matter if it's Law and Crime, Court TV, Recovery Addict, every law tuber, everyone who's interested in law tubing can take this feed and make their own YouTube stream and discuss it. And as long as they don't change it, according to the judge, but someone's going to change it. Someone's going to zoom in. Someone's going to, slow motion? Is that not allowed? I mean, are you allowed to pause? Are you allowed to play? Are you allowed to go back and rewatch it? I don't know where the line is. I think that some of that is permissible, but how much is he saying? What constitutes a change? And if I zoom in on one area of the screen, I say I because I know that I've got the technologies to do it. But if I zoom in on, say, the judge's window and have him full screen, is that considered zooming in? Or do I have to zoom in beyond full screen so I have less than the image that's shown in his little box? What is okay and what is not? Oh, man. Someone mentioned sports coverage. Are there similar rules there? Sports coverage is different because of the copyright issue. The judge does not hold the copyright on this. Okay, and copyright is very key. But the judge, even though he's ordering this to be filmed, he is not personally responsible and able to choose and say, this is how I'm going to allow this video to be used. He's not the owner of the copyright. It does not work that way. That's not part of the taking an oath of office in Latah County as judge, that you are now the copyright holder for all videos produced out of your courtroom. It does not work. So, Mrs. C, I agree with this. In rereading this, this is the only outcome I can see that's happening, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I would hope that everyone would follow the rules exactly, that we would all use this feed and say, look, we don't like the situation. We'd rather have a little more control. We'd rather have outside people that know when to show different things. Okay, because I don't. The judge is not a video producer. Okay, this is not what he did in his former life. That he, directed television shows and cameras and cutting and color matching and lighting and audio. This is not his forte. And so him being in charge of it probably will give us a lesser product than what we would get had, say, one of the big news agencies or one of the big corporations that follows court cases provided this service. Isn't commentary technically changing it? Yeah, but he can't really say no one's allowed to comment on it. How close can you get to that, to violating somebody's right to free speech without actually saying you're doing that? The moral of the story is we won't be able to watch. Judy, that's basically what I'm predicting. If the judge holds this line, if he thinks that he actually is controlling this, that he's going to make sure that nobody zooms in. And I can tell you, because he's written this order, defense, as soon as it happens, defense is going to make a motion, and there's going to be screenshots, and there's going to be channel names, and there's going to be television station names of everybody who zoomed in or stopped and paused something or freeze framed or did something in a way that changed that, and they're going to say, look, judge, they're not following the rules. And this is just one more way that, going back to that, interest number one, that Bryan Kohberger is not getting a fair trial. He's being tried in the media instead of by the jury. Cooper's mom, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. Love that yellow courthouse by your name. Do we know the court date yet? Cynthia, this is a great question because we, the end of last year, actually I think it was fall, Bryan Kohberger at the last minute basically said, I'm not requesting the right to a speedy trial. I'm not asserting that right. I'm going to go ahead and waive that right to a speedy trial, which turns the stopwatch off in a lot of ways. So much, usually a defendant can't be held indefinitely, and we've said that you have a right, we say you have a right to a speedy trial, and everyone does. It's often not in the defendant's interest to have a speedy trial. They may need more time to prepare a defense. And in this case, I think that's what they needed. Karen, thank you very much. The best channel on YouTube. Thanks, RA Chat and Mods. I appreciate that. 8 months of support as well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. It's not in the defendant's interest to go so fast. You've got so much data to pour through that your attorneys, there may be great exculpatory evidence out there, something that says, hey, this is how it proves it wasn't me. And your lawyer would never know about it if you've got 60 days to prepare for a murder trial. And there's 12 gigabytes or terabytes of video files and everything else. There might be a video of him being somewhere else at the time the murder happened. Now, this is an outlandish example because I think the defense would have to disclose that. They couldn't necessarily bury it. And also, it's an extreme example, which actually doesn't work. But I think it works for the discussion we're having here. But there could be exculpatory or some evidence that would definitely help in your defense that your attorney would not be able to find in the 60 days that you have to prep for trial before it goes to trial. So you waive that right to a speedy trial. You say, I'm not going to hold you to it, because if you assert your right to a speedy trial and the prosecution isn't ready in time, guess what? They have to drop the charges. They could probably refile them, but they have to drop the charges, you get out. So they waived that right. And usually now in a murder trial, especially in a big high profile murder trial like that, where you've got multiple victims, you have evidence across multiple states, just a ton to go to. You're going to have years of prep work. 2-3 years leading up to a murder trial is not uncommon. So when is this going to happen? Well, surprise, surprise. Last year when they waived their right to a speedy trial, we thought this is not going to happen before 2025. And then just in the last couple of weeks, in the last month or so, the defense has said, Your Honor, we've thought this through. We'd really like a trial during the summer of 2024. Now, I don't know if they're bluffing here. I don't know if they're they've sort of lost their trump card where they say, we have the right to a speedy trial. We're going to hold you to this, because once you waive it, it's waived, and it's not waived for like 90 days or 6 months or a year. It's waived. It's gone. You no longer have that ability to say, now I want a speedy trial. I'm going to rescind that previous thing. You can't just you kick it around that way. So Melissa Ann says, I think this is a strategy to kick cameras out. Well, here's the only thing that would actually, I think, protect the cameras and keep them in the courtroom is that if we go back to the very beginning, let me go down to the bottom here. Let's see, interviews, portion of proceedings not live streamed. Those are the sidebars and things. Reporting, vehicle parking, media inquiries. We'll probably be calling that guy a little bit. Here we go. Other provisions of Idaho Court Administrative Rules apply. The Supreme Court rulings for Idaho and the rights to the media can't just be disregarded. The judge can change the rules and say, we're not going to allow X, Y, and Z to occur during court. But this right here, the public's right to information, that is just as real as Bryan Kohberger's right to a fair trial. The media's right to attend these hearings is just as real as Bryan Kohberger's right to a fair trial. So he can't just disregard those without just cause. And I think the judge is going to have a hard time explaining on appeal, because I think it would be appealed or taken straight to the Supreme Court, that I don't like what people are showing. I don't like how they're making edits to our live stream, and so I'm going to turn off all the cameras. I'm going to take away that public right to media access because I don't like it. I think the judge would lose that battle in court. They would not stand up to Supreme Court review at all. So that is in the balance. But I wonder how far the judge is going to try to push this. Wonder if you could even put your channel logo on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have my face over it. I can tell you. Let me tell you what I'm thinking right now. I've told you before, I want to be there for the Bryan Kohberger trial. And even though everybody else is going to be able to have access from their home anywhere, I'd still like to be there for the Bryan Kohberger trial. I think there's some things that will be happening outside of court. The people who are attending court that we will not be seeing on the court's cameras. People coming in and out, whether it's family, whether it's protests, whether it's activities outside the court. There's stuff that I'd like to try to get. And so I'm working on some options there to have access to the court exterior and have a live feed there as well, probably simultaneously. What everyone seems to forget, says Dr. SB, is that having cameras in the court helps to protect the defendant. It does. The transparency shows that the system is working properly, that we don't have rogue judges and prosecutors that are just railroading innocent victims into jail. Not 100%, but EDB streamed yesterday reading all the documents, and the new judge says only certain media groups can stream. Mandy, what trial is that? When is that hearing? Anna A. Let's see. I'm trying to chase your conversation back. Did anyone see that Murdaugh is only going to be allowed to be streamed by certain media groups? That would be very different from the previous one. The previous one, the judge ordered that the media groups that streamed it are not allowed to copyright it. Which is an interesting order. Murdaugh judge is going the other way. Unless you have a media rep in court to stream, you must license the feed from court TV. We need to read that. I mean, I'm not interested in covering the retrial, but forcing someone to license that. Wow. That is a sweetheart deal for court TV. Cha-ching. Some of these licensing fees, let me just tell you, I've made those calls to arrange for or attempt to arrange licensing for different court cases. That's one of the things we do behind the scenes. And I can tell you that one of the companies charges $10,000 per second because they have to offer licensing, but they don't want to share it. And so they set their rate at $10,000 per second. Seems a bit unethical. Will these provisions still apply to the footage after the trial's conclusion? Probably differently, Corey, because after the trial's conclusion, the right to the defendant receiving a fair trial is gone because it's over, and that's been done. So the weight at which any use of the video is weighed and controlled changes entirely, because now you've lost the constitutional right of the defendant for fair hearing. That has no weight because it's already occurred. It can't change. You've also lost the court's interest in safety and court personnel. That's gone. The court's interest in maintaining order in an environment that permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions. That's gone. So all you have left is the public's right to information. So basically, once court's over, I think it's fair game. It's fair game. It's an excellent series of questions for uncivil law. We need Kurt. We need Kurt. I want to research that. Are we sure that Becky Hill did not somehow profit from the deal with Court TV? Yes, it was a per second charge. They wanted to charge $10,000 per second. So they can't copyright for someone who is in the media pool on site, but can license to those outside the media pool, also known as streamers. Well, we just need to get in that media pool. I feel like an IP attorney could bore a hole through that Murdaugh ruling. Yes, Bravo Chick, I think there are definitely some flaws there that need to be challenged, but who wants to be the person that is the poster child for that case? Who wants to be the one that that has their name on the filing in a lawsuit? What's really frustrating is the problems we've seen in we saw it in the Murdaugh trial as well. Is they showed the jury, right before deliberations. They showed the jury, and the camera just panned over it. That was not anyone outside. That was not a race streamer. That was not a YouTuber showing the jury. That was the cameras approved by the court in the courtroom were violating the rules. I don't think that's the problem. Can we ask Rob, Law and Lumber? We can. It's very, very wrong in my opinion. Very wrong. Whoa, am I wrong on this one, Michelle? It's Mixed Media Madness. I was told that it was. I was told that BK asked for the summer of 2024, and it was the state instead. What I read was that it was Kohberger's team. Saw Peter's video. It was great. He did a great job on this. The state asked for it. The defense is causing delays. Okay, we need to dig into Murdaugh a little bit. But Murdaugh cameras, they caught all sorts of stuff they shouldn't have. Evidence that shouldn't have shown. Images that were supposed to be not shown, they were shown. The state made a big deal of doing it when school was not in session. Okay, I was completely wrong about that, so I led you completely astray. My apologies. University wants the trial in summer when students are gone. Which ones, Tina? Which two huge trials? There are a lot of huge trials going on, but Hey, Vicky, thanks. We actually opened up saying that he covered this. That's how we opened the live stream, saying that he covered this very well. Yes, we talked about that. Judge Boyd does also. We talked about that this morning. Judge Boyd has a trial today we're going to try to follow. That's in the description of the video as well. Maya Malit, very interesting case. Another Maya trial. So it's a no-body murder trial. Husband argues constitutional rights violated as he waits for trial. Interesting restrictions in that case. Judge has a unique look with the mustache. Little wax tips on his mustache. Got somebody calling in. Just 1 second.
Call from Heather.
Hello, is this Heather?
Yes. Hey, R.A.
How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. My name actually comes up. I'm a new subscriber. My name comes up as, hey.
Wonderful. What's on your mind?
Hey, my name actually comes up as The Throne is Mine.
All right.
And no, that's fine. So I just wanted to call and say, I love your channel, and I actually was watching Court TV live because I love being in the courtroom, but I don't watch them anymore. I actually accidentally bumped in to your courtroom, and I just wanted to say that I love you. I love your Mrs. R.A. and your little R.A.s, and
I love them too.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you found us.
Oh, I'm glad too. I've never left. I came in the middle of Maya's trial, props and loves and hugs to all the Kowalskis, all their attorneys. They were awesome.
They were.
Yeah.
All those individuals, that whole case, they're just a different caliber of people. Just really nice people.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They're all wonderful. Yeah, I love them all. I thought they were amazing. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But I wanted to call in today. I actually have been wanting to call you for like all weekend and yesterday and today, and I saw that you were, what's today, Wednesday?
It is.
So Monday and Tuesday, and today I saw that you were on live, and I was like, well, calling him today. So I have had something burning on my mind, and I see that you're going through this document today, and it says something about you can't zoom in.
Right.
So great, you can't zoom in. Well, how on earth are we going to keep our eye on these cunning defendants? Like, and I heard you put in LS.
Yeah, we zoomed in on her during her trial a lot. I mean, we had all the different hairstyles.
Exactly.
We wanted to see what she was doing.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I have been marathoning that trial. Mm-hmm. So this is why I've been having this burning thing in my mind. But I don't know if I really should talk to you off air.
Okay.
About this.
We can do that.
Really?
This phone number works off air as well. It's the burner phone. I usually answer it day and night. So, but when we're live, I take it on the air. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know when is a good time.
Anytime we're not live streaming. Anytime we're on the live stream.
Okay, so I'll call you later today.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Good to hear from you.
Okay, I'm almost at the end. Thank you. I'm almost at the end of the trial, so I'm going to get back to marathoning.
All right.
But I'll try to. Actually, I'm going to put you on my tablet. I don't sync up with none of my devices. Sync up with you on my TV, but I can't chat on my TV.
Yeah,
so I'll get on my tab.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
So as soon as I see you, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yep.
You are wonderful. And I love sitting in the gallery and watching court. Oh, I love being in the courtroom. I just love it.
You're an addict. That's all right. Thank you. It's nice to make your acquaintance. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay. Thank you, R.A. Thank you, Chat. I almost forgot, Chat. Oh, my God. You guys are awesome. You guys are so funny. So funny. And I lurk, but like I said, I'm on my tablet to chat, and nothing syncs up, so my comments would not make sense to you guys. But keep up the good work. You guys have me in hysterics every single day.
We've got some
funny
people.
I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
Okay, Ray, I'll let you go.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
That's awesome. You guys are awesome. K-Rab says, M. Lady Baker is planning on streaming Murdaugh. I'm sure she would appreciate it if we could get her media rep into the trial to allow streaming without paying court TV. Well, I'll look at that. If nothing else but to thumb my nose a little bit, I have a problem with that ruling. I really have a problem with that ruling. All right. I'm not saying that we would not follow it. It's just I have a problem with that. Okay. The... Murdaugh, when's that coming on? Who's this lovely lady? She's a hoot. Heather. But she's watching the trial. She's watching the Letitia Stout trial right now. So she called in. She's watching Letitia Stout after the fact. Kohberger's going to have cameras, but Sarah, honestly, I think that this is a setup to get the cameras excluded. The only thing I was surprised about in this this motion that we see, this is the parking. The courthouse. The front of the courthouse is actually right over here. This is the front of the court. Well, it's like right there. The steps go up. Actually, no, it's right here. I think it's in the dark. But let's see. No, these are the steps. Those are the steps. I was right. This is it. The media parking is way over here. Media parking and satellite trucks. Guess what? There won't be many of. There won't be many satellite trucks because they're not getting a feed from the courtroom here. They're getting a feed from the internet. So employee and public parking's right here. Media is pushed all the way out. No media staging around on the two streets right here, the two big streets. This little street right here is a residential on one side. Well, semi-residential. This building is a bond company and a lawyer's office. This is a garage, and I think the garage is attached to this house, residential right there. So there's not a lot of room on this street. But I'd love to reach out to this company right here. And I realize me announcing this, somebody else is going to do it. But get them to post a live stream video that can film the front of the courtroom so we can see people coming in and out without having to have a camera there. Just have a live camera, a live feed of the courthouse. That's legal. Judge will be in charge of where the cameras are placed, right? Yes, Marty, he will. But they probably will be placed in a manner that will show the different places. We're going to have a witness. We're going to have probably the judge. We're going to have prosecution and defense. I doubt that they're going to have like pan tilt zoom and have the same sort of coverage that we've had in other trials. They're going to be fixed cameras, is my guess, so that he can say, this is how I want them. They're set, and we're going to forget them. Set and forget. It's legal. We do legal things. We talked about at the beginning of the trial. If you go on Street View on the Latah County, or Latah, however you want to pronounce that, county courthouse, and you look at this street, this green street right here above me, and look, position the camera right here where the R is in parking. You can see the courtroom, all the doors, the entryway, a lot of the sidewalk leading up to this, and then you turn the other way around from that same vantage point in a line. There's a big high-peaked dormer with a window, and I think it's the bail bonds company that's upstairs. but there's a window up there. And if you could set up a camera on a tripod with just a 24/7 live stream of the courthouse front steps, I'd love it. And I might even pay him to do it. But that would be cool. So media staging and cameras are going to be right here. This is where they're going to be doing their interviews, their live hits. We're standing outside the courtroom doing XYZ. I just don't know if the people are going to enter the courtroom from the back door over here, where you've got some employee parking and everything. People must come in the back, because I doubt people are going to come through the front. Because where are you going to park to do that? It's going to be around here somewhere, unless you have to park all the way down here, walk all the way up around the media, past around the courtroom and in the front doors. I don't know. Does somebody know that courtroom? Which door does everyone go in? Okay. People for real. I got an email. Yes, MD Recovery Addict. MD like doctor, but no, it stands for metal detector. Metal detector, MD Recovery Addict at gmail.com would get that to me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you that these cases that we have happening right now with the cameras. We're talking Lori Vallow, we're talking Bryan Kohberger, all the big trials that are going on, and the media coverage associated with it is at a level that I have never seen before. The interest is at a level I've never seen before, and these decisions that are coming from these judges are very rapidly getting us to the point where this issue is going to be taken to a higher and higher court, and there may be some decisions made either at a state Supreme Court level, or I'd like to see one federally, but we'll see. Let's see. Hey, the interest calculator. My idea last week to RA. Is it happening? Big Sky DMC. We're working on that. P-Will for Real's working on it. My son's also working on a version. But the idea is that when the judge bangs the gavel and says, and the interest starts now, we hit the button. We have a timer on the screen, a lot like we have a counter for coughing or objections or something else that we're counting during court. And anytime we're talking about that court, we can just pull up the current amount that is owed by JHatch live to the second as the interest accrues at $57,000 a day. All right, let's take a quick peek at Judge Boyd really quickly. I think we've covered Bryan Kohberger as much as we need to for right now. Obviously, we'll do some more work to pursue that as it gets closer. But if it's the state, only the state that's interested in moving ahead, I don't think it will happen this year. I think that'll push us out to 2025. Thanks for the correction on that. I'm sorry if I led people astray. All right, let's see if Judge Boyd is not quite live yet. We've got another call on the burner phone. Hello?
Call from Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, this is RA. How are you doing?
I'm good, Scott. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fabulous.
So I'm a former resident of Spokane, Washington, which is, of course, right next to the University of Idaho.
Yeah.
It's just about it's a very short drive. Anyway, I was going to say, if Judge is going to try to use this as an example as to keep the courthouse free from cameras, he's doing the victims' families a disservice and the citizens and students of the University of Idaho, because there's no way all of them can attend, the trial in person. Number one. And number two, there's also a really interesting case you might want to check out. It's a Marjoram Kaler, which is in Idaho as well, but it's a different county. It's in Shoshone County, I believe. That might be something you're interested in. It's a murder case, so it's not going to be something that comes up very quickly, but it is interesting in its complexity.
Give me the spelling of that name. You said Marjoram?
Yeah, it's in the Idaho Cases of Interest website, and it, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. I'm scrolling up because I'm on their site. It's Major John, or Major John, one word. That's the first name.
I've seen this one.
And
let's see.
Yeah, and it's Kaylor. I think it's Kaylor, excuse me.
Okay.
Kaylor.
This is Major John Allen Kaylor.
Yes, it's right above. If you go to the Idaho Cases of Interest
I'm on that page
website, it's right above Bryan Kohberger's. But it's interesting anyway. It's a hard case because it deals with some essay and some other issues. But
4 victims.
It's interesting
as well.
Right. It's interesting because of the circumstances. I don't want to say it on live, because it's disturbing. But anyway, while I've got you on the phone, I just wanted to say I love your coverage. I'm incredibly happy to see when you stream, and I love chat. So thank you to your mods, and thank you to you for taking my call.
Jessica, I realize you're not Jessica M72. She said that's a different Jessica. What's your username online? Do you share that?
Jessica Hicks. It's my name.
Jessica Hicks. Well, wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful. Good speaking to you.
It's good speaking to you. And also, just so you know, I'm a former police officer, and I am a 911 dispatcher. So a lot of the content that you cover is so on point. And I just wanted to say thank you for being honest and really taking care to be, really careful about how you present things to our community. So thank you very much,
Jessica. I've got a lot of respect for people who do what you do. I got to sit in with dispatchers as part of my. I did a community, like a citizens police academy 11-week course,
right.
and one of the weeks we got to sit in with dispatchers in the 911 call center, and I can't describe what it's like. I mean, it was a lot of anxiety for me because I'm sitting there at one point, it's dead quiet, and literally we have 3 dispatchers who are playing solitaire, just as times, and they're chatting and talking, and then the phone rings, and you go from playing solitaire and, talking about, what you did last weekend to a mom who's got a choking child on the other end of the line. And you're thrown into the most, it's an incredible situation where, as a dispatcher, and you could describe this better, you are their only hope, but there's nothing you physically can do other than try to guide them through. And they're panicking, and you're trying to calm them and get them to. You're teaching someone first aid in the seconds they have to learn it. It's the most incredible position. Don't get the respect you guys deserve. Even when it comes to retirement and things like that. I think you guys should be treated just like police officers because the stress is incredible.
Well, I had a unique situation because I was a police officer as well as a dispatcher. I worked in the military, and that was one of my functions was to do 911 dispatching, but also I would also go on the road and be a police officer. So I would have that kind of anticipation. However, I will say this much. I didn't stay as a dispatcher for a very long time because they were very aware of the fact that there's a lot of burnout and there's a lot of stress involved in it. So they, ironically enough, they'd rather have you on the road, so that you could follow through. That's the hardest thing is when you're on the other line and when you're on the other side of a phone, you can't follow up and find out. You have to ask the patrol officer or whomever.
Read the report later on, if you hear.
Exactly.
Yeah, you hang up right at the moment where they're screaming and they're like, okay, the police are here, and that's where you're dropped.
And that's, I think, where the more stress is. But thank you very much for your kind words and your comments. It's very thoughtful.
Well, Jessica, thank you for your service. We've got lots of
course,
great thank yous coming in from the chat as well for you. So good to hear from you.
Well, I love you guys' chat.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Jessica Hicks, we'll have to get her on for an interview. She's got some great experience as a law enforcement and doing dispatch. Wow. Let's see. Weather Watch says, I just submitted my application last night for our 12-week Citizens Police Academy. I hope I get selected. I hope you do as well, Weather Watch. And I hope you film it on the day where they say, okay, today's taser night. And so who wants to go first? Incredible experience. If you have the option, and let me say this, I would make this recommendation also to people who are very skeptical of police departments, who are critical of police use of force, who are critical of basically all law enforcement. I would recommend to check and see if your police department or your sheriff's office or your community has a Citizens Academy. A lot of times they hold these classes and they are underfilled. Like there are extra positions available, extra spaces available, and they are incredible. They're incredibly insightful, and a lot of times you get to be to basically switch roles and say, what would I do in this situation, and play out scenarios that are happening in a split second that you have to make life-changing decisions in. Very, very insightful. Highly recommend it if you get the chance to do that. But at the same time, they can be also there can be a lot of times those classes, they don't show the blurred pictures on the days where you're talking about crime scene investigation, and they're bringing in images from murders that you read about in the news or might have happened in your community. You suddenly see behind the scenes, and you see exactly what's involved behind the scenes, and it can be quite traumatic as well. So just be aware of that going into it. Good luck, Thomas. Just make sure that podcast night does not interfere. I'm just kidding. We'll move podcast night if it needs to. All right. We're waiting for Judge Boyd to start her trial today. She's not started live yet. So if anyone knows what time she's starting that would be great to know. Okay. Podcast from the class. So he's like, is it all right if I just set this up right here? And you wear this microphone. I'll send you all the gear. We'll live stream your Police Academy class. Okay. Everyone's like, do it. Matthias, hey Scott, did you catch Dr. Joe and Greg Anderson discussing your handiwork? Yes, handiwork. I caught part of it. I didn't catch that part. So if there was something where they were talking about me specifically, I didn't catch that. But I jumped in and said hi and listened for a little bit. Who got kicked out of court? Whoa. So many conversations. I'm trying to follow all of them. Kristen Morona Cameron. Who kicked people out of court yesterday? Was it Judge Boyd? Amy Brooks, welcome to the gallery. Thank you for joining us, Amy. It's wonderful to have you here. We're super excited about what's coming up. As we are getting started to follow some great cases this year, this month, especially as we get towards the middle and the end of this month, we've got some big things going down, and hopefully we'll have some good cases to fill up the time in between as well. They're talking about the fantastic explanation of showing of hands in the Maya photo session. All right, okay, Jessica, we did a video with the overlay, the images, and rotated and enlarged. Judge would have been very disappointed with what I did. But yes, I did manipulate the photos, but did not distort the images. Only did a little bit of we did a lot of. I did a ton of searching. Basically, searched through all the testimony of the witness on the stand and found every moment where her hand came up on screen, and screenshotted that picture, and then found one where her hand was in the proper orientation to line up with the picture relative to the camera that we had in the Maya picture. And then we used those and superimposed the two and blended back and forth. But she banned a guy from the courthouse and jail. Man, banned from jail. How do you win one of those cards? That was yesterday? And a U.S. official didn't have identification, so she kicked him out. He yelled something at her on his way out. Wait, Judge. Was this... Let's see. This was yesterday. Yesterday afternoon. Can somebody get me a timestamp on this? I would love to watch that with you guys and see what happened. He claimed to be an executive of the U.S. federal government. Like the president from the executive branch. Judge Boyd kicked a guy out of the courthouse for talking to jurors in the hallway, so they had to do jury selection all over again today. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Can you imagine Judge Boyd coming down on you for screwing up her schedule like that? Second live stream yesterday. Okay, let me pull that up on my feed. I've got that here. If somebody can give me a timestamp, let's see. Towards the end.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Okay, I see a section where she's quite animated talking to the court. Let's see if we can bring this up here. Okay, give me a second here. Rudy Patootie, thank you for gifting a membership. Beginning of afternoon feed. Okay, let me go back a little bit. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to be on this one, and I cut off of it. Let's go back. Let's start the afternoon feed here.
All right. So my understanding is that you were outside speaking with members of the jury. Is that correct? That's either yes or no. No. You were outside speaking to the jurors. Yes or no? Nope. Were you outside speaking to the jurors? Yes or no?
Yeah, detaining. It's a difference between getting arrested.
This is what's going to end up. All right. And what division? All right. Do you have documentation for that? Oh, what is your name? Spell that. First name? And last name? Yes. Spell it. And where's your documentation that show you work for the federal government? All right. So you are not allowed to be in this courthouse anymore. You do not have any business here. If you are not a witness, you are not allowed in this courtroom. Do you understand? And you're not allowed in this courthouse. You know that you are not supposed to be speaking with the jurors in the hallway. You were. Those jurors were not asking you any questions. You took it upon yourself to tamper with the jury that is coming up here for jury selection. You are not allowed in this courthouse anymore. Do you understand? No. Do you understand? So do not come back into the courthouse. That means this courthouse. That means the courthouse next door that is the historical courthouse. Do you understand? All right. All right. If you can see that he's escorted off the premises.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh, God bless you too.
What in the world? Yeah. You and your little backpack, says Judge Boyd.
So I will speak to all of the defense attorneys when you all come back. But personally, I don't feel comfortable with using this jury as the jury pool.
They've been tampered
because
with.
I don't know what was said. My understanding is that he is involved in a case here, not as a witness, not as a party whatsoever, but just as maybe a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin. All right.
This is bizarre. Jessica Hicks, welcome to the gallery. Good to talk to you on the phone as well. Thank you so much. This was yesterday in Judge Boyd's courtroom.
Yeah. But they're going to bring, if you have an inmate, we will bring them up and we'll do your pleas.
Name is Mutz. Watch this live. One of the defense attorneys came in, was claiming he was trying to act as an attorney to see her client in jail. Really strange situation.
And also because, because I've been a defense attorney before and a prosecutor, the remaining jurors that are left are going to be jurors that have already probably been reviewed, and those that are not was selected were sent back to the basement, be called back up. So I'll speak with the defense attorneys about that and the prosecutors about that, as far as whether you all want to do jury selection today or do jury selection tomorrow with a new jury. Okay. So if y'all can discuss that.
Can I approach her with this? So she doesn't sign it. Judge, I just got hired on this case.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this part off. That is unbelievable. The judge trespassed somebody from the courthouse. You can't go to jail. You can't go to the courthouse. So unless he's summoned there with a subpoena, yeah, unless he has business there, he's not going to be in that courtroom again, or that courthouse. Whoa. Joe wants you to send him a link to the Beatty video. Let's see. I'm gonna ask you guys to help a little bit with that one. I don't remember where it is, but we can find it. Wow. So now we've got a dilemma about the court case for Stephanie Boyd, Judge Boyd today. If they have to do jury selection, that will set that back a little bit. It might even set it back by a day. You get nothing. Nothing, sir. Good day. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that. Uncivil law. Kurt, welcome. We have a question for you. I'm not sure if you can call the burner phone or not. But we had a question. We had yesterday, Peter Tragos went over the document in full from the judge in the BK trial. And this is the updated media order document, as I guess they're calling it. It's a decorum order. But in that order, he spells out a few things. Specifically, he says, yeah, the number is, we'll put it in chat. If we can, I'll put it on the screen. Or someone will here, probably before I can. If you can type ! burner in chat for Kurt, that would be great. There we go. Here it comes. Just wait for it. But the judge ruled and said, we want to control. There's the number. I'll leave it on the screen for a second. We'll just let Kurt call right now, if that's all right. We want to control what the access is to the video. We want a fair trial for Bryan Kohberger. We want to balance the interest of the public and the media and their interest in the case. We want the court to have a process that's not impeded. We don't want a circus. And we also want, for security reasons, we need to be safe. And so he weighed all these options, and he came up with a solution where he said, we're not going to allow any outside cameras, still or video. The court is going to run all the cameras, and we're going to put it out on our YouTube channel. And you are all welcome to use it. Everybody. Public, you're welcome to use our live stream, but you are not allowed to change it in any way. And you being an intellectual property lawyer, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Call from Amanda.
Hey, who's on the phone?
Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. Kurt's going to be calling in just a second, so I'm going to have to drop you. But what's in your mind?
Okay, I'll be real quick. So the guy that she trespassed, Judge Boyd trespassed yesterday morning, she already kicked him out of the courtroom yesterday morning.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've got Kurt on the phone. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
call from?
Kurt Mueller. Hopefully.
Kurt, sorry, I cut off your intro. Sorry.
No problem. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How are you doing this morning?
Excellent. I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
It's a fabulous day. It's Wednesday. We had that storm move through. It's like all clean air now. A little bit chilly, but
I'm back in the gym since Thanksgiving. So I was in the gym yesterday and the day before, first time since Thanksgiving. So
that feels good.
We've picked ourselves back up, getting back to it. So I'm feeling positive.
That's good. That is awesome. I wanted to pick your brain if you've got just a second regarding this Bryan
For you,
Kohberger.
my friend, all the seconds.
Thank you, Kurt. Judge up in the BK case, he released a new decorum order that basically says the media won't have any cameras. The court is going to control all the cameras in the courtroom, and we'll put it out on our YouTube feed. And the interesting part I like that. That's great. We've watched many trials that way. But the part that struck me was where he said, and I'm going to order everybody that nobody can change it. Specifically, you can't zoom in on any of the feed. Where do you think he's able to? First of all, does he have the right to do that? Or is that trample on people's First Amendment rights with free speech, and B, do you think it's enforceable?
I don't think it is enforceable, no, because I think the court has the right to control the footage and sort of how it gets out. But then in terms of what people do with it, I don't think so, because the judge is effectively trying to control the license, in so many words, of what you can do with the media. But once it's on the YouTube page and anyone can consume it, the idea that you couldn't then remix it or reuse it or zoom in on things seems a bit ridiculous. So I imagine that professional media will obey by the order, but I can't see any basis for the judge to hold anyone in violation of the court orders for doing it, because they're just getting it from the court's feed. He's putting it into the open. You can't put things into the open and then try to control what you do with it. That's not really a concept in American law.
Yeah, you think about the fair use laws. And basically, under those laws, you're required to change it a little bit. You're required to add value, and you can't just copy somebody else's directly. You've got to have something that makes it your own and makes it unique or makes it better or different. Or and the judge is basically saying you can't do that. You have to if you want to use your free speech to rebroadcast this, you have to say exactly the way we said it. It has to be the same image, and I don't think it's going to stand up. But the dilemma I see is if he gets upset when it happens, because it's a when, not an if.
Sure. Yeah.
He does have the authority to say no cameras.
Sure.
So even though he can't really enforce the rule, or I believe he can't really enforce the rule that he's put out there, he can effectively accomplish the same effect by just saying fine then.
Yeah, probably. He's probably going to, very likely he's going to pouty face, because he can't possibly control the world. There's just no way. It doesn't make any logical sense. Yeah. So we can all see that coming. So what he will or will not do in the future, I couldn't say. But yeah, I certainly had no problem with the court's order in the first instance about will control the cameras, because we've both seen, and I'm sure everyone on the chat has seen, how the media has at times tried to get around / blatantly defy the court's limitations. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes.
Right? The entire principle in the first instance is we want to see the trial. We want to see the trial because it's in the public. It's like, okay, so you want to see the witnesses? No, we want to hyper focus on the defendant's face. It's like, come on, guys. It's like, can't we just, look at the witnesses or look at the judge or look at the attorney? No, we got to make sure we get our money shot. Maya must be crying.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow must be crying, whatever. And it's like, so as a judge, if I were a judge, I would be very amenable to similar orders, because they've proven that we can't have nice things.
Yeah. And I wish that all TV directors had to go through a class to understand the balance that we're in, with the court having the ability to shut down cameras and the public's interest, and realize that there's a line you can walk in. Just because you can get a certain shot doesn't mean you should get a certain shot.
Yeah. But of course, on the extreme end of the media being jerks is the famous Shepard case, Sam Shepard from the 60s, where a lot of this came around. This is the case that The Fugitive was rumored to be based on, but the people have denied it, but very similar fact pattern, you know. Very famous doctor, killed his wife, huge trial. It was the end-all be-all trial at the time, you know. Think depth, think whatever. It was that level of scale. And just to prove what the media was doing in that case, while the trial was ongoing, they were taking photographs of the jurors, publishing their photographs with their name and address in the paper during a time when the general tenor was hang 'em and hang 'em high. So that's part. And then the U.S. Supreme Court said in the 60s, you know what? We think that was bad. We think that was not a good thing to do, and might have somewhat influenced the trial. So just to show you how far the media will go, they have no soul.
Yeah, it's brutal. This is why we can't have nice things, like you said. Kurt, thank you very much for your professional analysis. Obviously, not legal advice. Consult your own lawyer. But
no problem. Have a great one, my friend.
Catch you later, my friend. Bye.
Or bye-bye.
Yep. Bye. Appreciate Kurt. He does some great work, and we like to direct people over to his channel when he's following some of the same stuff that we are. So appreciate him being in chat and being willing to call in on a moment's notice as well. I saw Diet Coke Mama was in chat, and I have to do this while she's here. Just 1 second. Come on. Okay. Now my switcher is running slowly today. So we'll just hold tight here for just a second. Let's see, downloads. I think it's my computer, actually. Wait for it. There we go. Okay. What is my computer doing that is so intensive? I think my computer is about to crash, but that's all right. We'll get there. Come on. It's slowly loading images, or attempting to, unsuccessfully. Let's close these down. Wait. Guys, thanks for your patience here. We need a Kurt command. I need to build a Kurt command. That'd be fun. Okay, I'll do that. Close this one. Let's shrink that one down. Now it's starting over. No. Well, guys, we might have to do this after the fact, but let me tease you just a little bit. Mrs. R.A. Met up with Diet Coke Mama over this last week and spent some time reacquainting themselves. And it was Mrs. R.A. had a blast. Absolutely loved it. And favorite day of the entire trip was when they were able to hang out together. Diet Coke Mama is a fantastic cook, and she made a cake. And I'm trying to show you a picture of the cake, but let me just say that I'll tease it and don't let me forget about it. But as soon as the cake picture loads, we're going to show you if it will load here. Let's shrink everything down. What is? Oh, I've got some websites that are eating up all my memory. Hang on 1 second. Sam's Club hot chocolate order. That's one of them. Local weather. This is all from yesterday. The ballet dancer trial, Crumblies, all my research pages. We've got to shut these down here. Is that better? Get rid of Twitter. We're shutting everything down. Just 1 second, guys. We're going to turn it off and on again. We need some tech support, I think. Who's in charge of the internet today? Okay. Let's even shut this one down. That's our intro video. All right. Okay, now I think we're slowly going to come back together. One more. YouTube was still open. Just 1 second. Got a million things that were open. This is crazy. I don't know why it's running slowly. It has no reason to. I just have used all the memory. All right, we'll fix this later. So we'll have to show the picture of the cake, which is amazing. I mean, I've got it right here. Maybe I can just show it in a little cheap way. You ready for this? This is the cake that she made. This multi-layer chocolate strawberry. There's like ganache, frosting, whipped cream, and like the strawberries. It's not just strawberries; they're like thin sliced and stacked, and there's like this decorative. Holy cow! And my wife says it was absolutely amazing. Diet Coke Mama, you outdid yourself. You've made many cakes for us, and this one was fantastic. So thank you for making my wife a birthday cake. Let's see. Okay. Where are we? We're waiting for Judge Boyd. Let me do a quick check and see if she's up yet. Just crazy things that happened yesterday. I don't think she's live, so they might be in jury selection. But does she oversee the jury selection, or is that handled outside of her court, and then she's just awarded a jury or just given a jury? They come up from downstairs or something. The cake looks absolutely amazing. I mean, this is something that you would. This is like a professional wedding cake level cake. That's what she does. Chelsea Murray, we do have a Discord server that we're friends with. I don't run Discord myself, but as the gavel drops is the Discord server, and it's right here. If you ever need the link to that, you can just type !Discord in chat, and this little message you see on the screen will pop back up on your screen, and you can click on that and go over there. Highly recommend it. They have tons of case information, absolutely tons of it. Yes, she's super impressive, and delicious. And cinnamon rolls, yum, 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 yum. We could watch the rest of yesterday afternoon. We could. We're just going to see what else is out there. Let's see, is she live yet? Got yesterday afternoons. I love that she shut somebody down. I mean, that was absolutely just incredible. Oops. Almost went to play my kid's game. That's no good. Okay. Let's see if we have any other courtrooms that are live. Judge Cedric, obviously, but he doesn't let us use it anymore. Burnett Circuit Court. What's going on in Burnett Circuit Court? We haven't seen these guys in quite a while. I think we saw them actually yesterday, but
payment to go towards your attorney, okay?
Okay.
And so, but if you fail to make your monthly payment, or you don't put in any deposit of what the court orders, then you will not be appointed that attorney. You would need to retain your own private attorney, all right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want me to get an idea, or you want to get an idea of what it could most likely be as a deposit and a monthly payment, we can do that right now. I can't guarantee that's what it'll be without looking exactly at all of your costs, income, etc. But how much do you make? Do you work?
Well, I bartend full time at the Pheasant Inn.
Okay, so you bartend at the Pheasant, and do you know how much you make an hour?
$10.
Plus tips?
Not as good in the winter time, but yes.
Right, exactly, obviously. And with regards to why you didn't qualify, do you own property, some kind of house or land or something of that nature?
Yes.
So that's what excluded you from, okay. So this is an OWI third as it's charged. Again, you're going to have an attorney, very experienced attorney, who will look at that to see, because you said that there is a conflict between an OWI first that you may have been cited versus an OWI third. They're going to have to look at all of those things, okay? What I would be comfortable with is $250 down to get an attorney, and probably $75 a month. Again, it'll depend on me looking at all of your income versus your debt, etc. But that's what I would do, and I would appoint Daniel Chapman, who's a very experienced, good attorney, to do that, to represent you in that matter. And what I could do is schedule you for, I could set this to another date and time for the initial and schedule you for January 22nd at 11:30. He will be here January 22nd at 11:30. But before the court will officially appoint him, you're going to need to pay that $250 down. Okay.
Okay. Am I supposed to give you this or no?
You can come give it to the clerk and she'll take that.
What was the date for initial?
January 22nd at 11:30.
I'm just saying this has got to be Texas.
All right. So what you need to do is just file that, come back January 22nd at 11:30, and then you'll be able to meet Mr. Chapman, as long as the $250 is paid down. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll stick with $250 and $75, unless I look at that and say, oh my gosh, based upon this, he's just not going to be able to afford that, but I'll take a look. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is there going to be like a signature bond with the no drink and no drive conditions?
Yeah, because this is an OWI. So what the court is going to put into place is what's called a signature bond. You're not going to have to pay anything, but it would be absolute sobriety, no alcohol, no driving without a valid driver's license. That's all, because this is an allegation of OWI third. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to put that you can't go into any establishments that serve alcohol, because obviously you work there, and while you work there, you're not going to be drinking and driving.
Well, as you know, with the Pheasant Inn, we're not allowed to drink behind the bar. Not that all of us follow that, but
exactly.
A couple of my employees.
You'll be fine. So come and file that,
My
and then
coworkers
we'll see you on January 22nd.
taste the merchandise.
okay.
It does sound a little bit like Wisconsin. A very young-looking judge.
Thank you.
A lot of times we see judges that are towards the end of their career.
Signature bond, or do it up real quick?
You can just do it up real quick. We can take some time. Out in the clerk's office.
Texas has DWI,
Oh, and
not
I didn't go
OWI.
over, we don't need to be on the record to do this, but I'm going to give you this little thing. I don't know what's going to happen with your case. Obviously, you need an attorney to look at this to see if you have defenses or can argue that it shouldn't be an OWI third, all of those things. That's your attorney will look at. But you could do what our intoxicated driver intervention program. And if you do the program, then you are most likely guaranteed, not guaranteed, you can't guarantee anything, but most likely you'll be able to get the mandatory minimums, and any jail time you would be able to serve an electronic monitor as a house arrest, and you would be able to go to work and do those kind of things. So you can just take a look at that. Okay.
How much was the signature bond?
$500.
Okay. So it's the defendant, absolute sobriety, no alcohol, no driving without a valid driver's license.
Correct.
This is Burnett County. I don't know the judge's name yet. This one we just found the other day. Somebody pointed out to me. We are hearing that Wisconsin accent, so that sounds about right.
Mr. Schillinger will be able to do your case next.
Those are some good boots.
Oh,
Love the muck boots.
It said I need fingerprints too.
Okay.
So I'm going to need fingerprints as well, because with each open file, we need to get fingerprints. So you're going to get a form and you'll go down to the sheriff's department and you'll provide your fingerprints. Okay. Were you arrested?
No, they took them at the jail.
Okay. If they took them at the jail, then you're good to go. It's just sometimes it takes a while for them to get through our electronic process.
I was probably operating while intoxicated would be the charge, I believe. We're supposed to be joining Judge Boyd for a jury trial today, but apparently somebody spoiled her jury. We watched that video just a little bit ago. Yesterday, he went up and started talking to the jurors out in the hall, and she says, I'm not comfortable moving forward, not knowing what they talked about. She banned him from the courtroom, but now they have to start over with the jury selection, so we might be a day behind on that trial. Judge Mogan? I see she has the fringe on the flag, meaning this is Admiralty Court, right? Little Daryl Brooks humor for you there. I want to see if Judge Boyd holds regular court, has a regular docket today, if they're waiting for another jury. Jamie says, you've got a camper in Burnett County. So that is Wisconsin, right?
All right.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Okay, and I'll just have you sign it right there.
She had a rough day. Judge Boyd was struggling. I mean, she handled it well.
And this printed up for your time for your next initial appearance. There you go.
Oh, I should have verified your address. I'm sorry.
Is that the correct address?
That is correct, yes.
And telephone ends in 2606.
That is correct, yes.
Can we send you text messages? Is that a cell phone? Is that a cell phone?
Yes.
Can we send you text messages of your hearing dates?
Sure.
Thank you.
Seems that the judge is doing a lot of the clerk work, I think, right there.
All right, you should be getting something in the mail as to the appointment of your attorney, and then it'll have his contact information. You can call him, or you can just wait until the 22nd.
So I just want to show this out there. This is one of the problems that we've been having because this incident occurred, as you know, on December 3rd.
I wouldn't say anything.
See anything until December 29th.
They might have a jury selected already. They might be good to go, but we'll watch.
Yes, and that's a delay in the process. That's something that would have to be discussed with the officer and when the tickets happened versus the filing from the DA. Sometimes it can take up to a year or more. Yep, because there's what's called a statute of limitations where they have a whole lot of time before you can file any type of suit or crime. This is a crime as it's charged OWA 3rd, but again, I don't get any information or have anything.
Statute of limitations usually is the
thank you.
time when they can file, not when they can't.
We will go on the record in the matter 23 TR 955 and 956 24 CF 05. State of Wisconsin versus Aaron Schillinger. The state appears through District Attorney James Reineke in person. Mr. Schillinger appears in person without counsel. We're set today in these matters for initial appearances. Mr. Schillinger, you've been charged with a felony, possession of THC second. Are you going to apply for a public defender or are you going to retain your own private attorney?
I applied for a public defender.
Did they say if you qualify?
I'm going to hear that today.
Oh, you'll hear from them
I had to get
today?
them some information about my vehicle loan.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I will reset this to another date and time so that you can see if you qualify or you don't qualify. If you don't qualify, it'd be the same process. You can either retain your own private attorney or the same process that the individual prior to you that gentleman, what he went through. You'd have to fill out an application for the court, probably put some money down, have monthly payments, etc., for a court-appointed attorney. I'm going to reschedule you for January 24th at 1 o'clock. January 24th at 1 o'clock. Hopefully that'll give you enough time to hear from the public defender. And if they have an attorney for you, then they'll most likely be here that date and time. Or if you find out in the next day or two that you don't qualify for a public defender, come here and get an application or take one before you leave and fill it out and come file that.
Okay,
a
she
lot
finishes up here. We're
sooner
going to jump
than
over
your
to
date
Judge Boyd.
On that time
just
for
barely
that hearing,
started.
okay? Because then I can review it and I can go over everything and get an attorney up and running, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
And if he wants, I've got an extra copy of the complaint, which you can give the public or keep.
And is your address still on Old 35?
Here we go.
I believe you forgot the.
We're going to switch away from that while they give it an address. Okay, Judge Boyd here, just starting work. I'm catching up. We've got about a 2-minute delay. We'll catch up live, so we're 2 minutes behind right now. But maybe she'll give her just a
All
quick...
right. So everyone,
Yes.
we were scheduled for jury trial today.
Uh-huh.
There are several things that have happened that are beyond, I know, your control and beyond the court's control. Someone who was brought over from the jail did test positive for COVID.
Oops.
The other persons were in the box with them, so they were tested, but they tested negative. And so we were having them retested, and then if they were going to be negative, we would have them brought over. However, there was a major fire at the Bexar County Jail, so none of the inmates are being brought over. So they will not be going to trial today because we can't get them here. And then Mr. Kuntz, with your client who's on bond, it's my understanding that there's been a medical emergency for that prosecutor's family member. Are you going to have any objection to not going to trial?
No, Judge, not at all.
All right. So what we'll do is we're going to call everyone back on January 16th. And at that time, I will give you all a new trial date and state, I know that the cases that you're going to try, everyone needs an interpreter and some witnesses need interpreters, and there may be an issue with the witness. So we'll figure that all out on January 16th. And then we will start back with court tomorrow at 9 a.m. Deputy Laura, Deputy Mejia, do you think the jail will be prepared to bring people over at that time? All right. And then with the person who came to court saying that he was an attorney, obviously he is not an attorney, so that matter is being taken care of as well. So
he might appear.
That's what's happening. I hope
I'd love
everybody
to see
has
her
a great
him
Wednesday.
appear.
We'll still be here in the 187th working on other things. So see everybody back. For you, John, unless you're on our docket tomorrow, see you back on Tuesday.
And she's gone. Wow. Judge Boyd apparently had a very bad day followed by a very bad night. There was a major fire in the Bexar County Jail, and because of that, the jailers are not bringing anyone over today. They probably had to move people, and it's probably just a mayhem at the jail. So that's that's going on. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Major fire at the jail. One heck of a week. Yeah, so basically everyone gets the day off. If you're going to be in Judge Boyd's courtroom, you get the day off. As opposed to the one dude who came in yesterday and spoiled the jury by talking to the jurors in the hallway. He apparently also claimed to be an attorney and is not. There could be charges there. Depends on what actions he took. This might be beyond just a oops, I accidentally talked to someone in the hallway I was not supposed to, which the judge would still come down on them a little bit hard. But man, and then you've got some illnesses going as well, people testing positive for major illness. Tomorrow the jail will be overrun with frogs, then the lice, then the rivers turn to blood. I think we've seen this movie. It has Charlton Heston in it. Missing ceiling tiles, fighting roaches and fire. Oh, where was that sound effect? I still have to work on that one for Judge Boyd. Did we find that? I think I got like a huge long... Was this it?
Get it?
No, ma'am.
Let's listen to this
somebody
just for a
else
minute.
had that on. I don't know if they're washing uniforms at the jail or not. I know they're not using Downy. I know they're just using detergent that says detergent on the box. And if you have an allergic reaction to that, that's on you. Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
That's my favorite. Someone just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won. Oh, man. Judge Boyd has had a crazy week. Crazy week. Let's see. I hope Judge Boyd has the chill pill in that purse of hers. She's basically got a relaxed day here. Wonder what caused the fire. We might find out. But with it being a public building, they might have to report that a little bit. It's my favorite audio clip ever. I think we're gonna make an exclamation point roaches clip. I could do it right now, but it would be really boring for you because I can't think and do that at the same time. Let's see. Open up. Where's my connection? This one. Oops, sorry. Need this down here. Can I just say, I'm not sure if Persephone's on today. Persephone helped us out with the media access in the Saratoga courtroom for the last Maya hearing. In addition to doing a fantastic job, sent me the digital file as well of all the files that we got there from that feed. She also sent me this. She knitted this hat, which is just incredible. The quality is really good, and it's like a multicolor. I don't know if it's like a single strand of yarn that changes color. It's like clean. There's like no ends anywhere. So it must be a single strand of yarn that's dyed different colors over and over. But she made this amazing hat. She said, I hope you like it. And thanks for letting me help. Fantastic. My kid wore it the other day, and it kept him nice and warm. He says, my ears are hot, which I think is the goal for hats. But looks crocheted knitting. I'm not sure. I think she made that during the Maya trial as she was watching as well earlier on. So pretty hat. I'm getting the sound effect really quickly. Sorry, that's what I was doing. Sound 2. Download to my computer. We're going to call it Boyd. It's going to take 30 seconds, so I can't make any sound effects during that time. Crime and Crochet says, that's definitely crocheted. Definitely crocheted. And you would know. If you have a roach audio, I think it should be the roach that was trying to get you. No. We're not gonna do that. Let me just get a drink here really quickly. No, I'm out of water in my Raid mug. We're gonna use the Judge Boyd audio for sure. We did watch Judge Cedric Simpson a lot. Love him. Amazing judge. We watched him with Cynthia and James, the couple. They were in front of Judge Cedric Simpson. For a brief while, he went offline, like he was no longer streaming his courts. And then when he came back with restrictions where he doesn't allow people to use his feed, and that's one of the things we try to abide by. So I don't know why. I'm not sure if he got in trouble or ran into issues with that. But he's still the same great guy. He just doesn't let us use the feed. Okay. Yes, Megasaurus, the Raid mug I got you. Thank you so much. It's awesome. I love it. Very, very humorous. Can we turn to the previous court? The court we were on before, Burnett shut off their feed. So I was going to switch back, but they're gone. Judge Boyd is not streaming today because of the fire and COVID, and the jury got tampered with, so they're down. Let's see if we have some other courts that we can find here. Okay, we've transferred the file. As far as other As far as other trials, we're not going to do Young Thug. We know where that goes. There's so few options. So few options out there right now. Let's see. Where'd we end up? Let's see. Judge DeSanta was hacked via Zoom feed this week. Had to be shut down. Yes, channel got shut down because somebody played inappropriate material over the Zoom. That is a risk to everybody. Everyone who restreams, every news outlet that's live streaming what's happening from the court. If something inappropriate comes on, it can take everybody down. That is really bad. You want to watch Judge Boyd from yesterday? We did miss her from yesterday, including the morning. Judge Manning is extremely protective of her feeds. We have a couple of her sound bites which we use under the fair use clause, but she does not appreciate anyone using. Let's see which one's hers. This is her right here.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Yeah, we have that.
You're talking about stuff.
Somebody keyed that as well. Watch yesterday afternoon. We can pick up with Judge Boyd from yesterday afternoon. I'm just trying to pick up right after we had the guy thrown out of court. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to Judge Boyd as this gentleman gets escorted out. Thurston County's live. I'll take a look at Thurston County and see what sort of cases they're covering today.
So I will speak to all of the defense attorneys when you all come back. But personally, I don't feel comfortable with using this jury as the jury pool because I don't know what was said. My understanding is that he is involved in a case here, not as a witness, not as a party whatsoever, but just as maybe a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin. All right.
That's a lot of us.
Hello? Yeah. But they're going to bring, if you have an inmate, we will bring them up and we'll do your pleas. All right. All right. And also because, and also because I've been a defense attorney before and a prosecutor, the remaining jurors that are left are going to be jurors that have already probably been reviewed, and those that are not was selected were sent back to the basement, be called back up.
That's where
so
we keep the
I'll
jurors
speak with the
down to the
defense
basement.
attorneys about that and the prosecutors about that, as far as whether you all want to do jury selection today or do jury selection tomorrow with a new jury. Okay. So if y'all can discuss that.
Can I approach her with this? So she doesn't sign it. Judge, I just got hired on this case.
This is right where we stopped before.
First he said sign an affidavit.
All right, so that'll need to be provided with them no later than Friday. If it's not there by that time, I'm gonna hear this motion.
No, I hear you. I'll get her in, today or tomorrow and just file it.
Yes, yes, she can come in with the court. So, Ms. Ferguson, have this set for Thursday. So-
And will, you want me to appear with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just make sure she sends it to the pre-trial officer as well, right? She has to copy it.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do it. I'll get on it right now.
Right.
Back to her. And I'll put her on the document on Thursday. But your copies when you file.
Thank you.
Oh, Daniel and Hank, I don't think y'all were here. The person who says that he's a state representative or something with the U.S. government was speaking to the potential jurors.
Oh.
So
He's like, really?
if nobody has any objections, I'm going to release those jurors.
Okay, sure, Judge. I think that's.
I put up a pretty little high tech. Right, I will change.
Just in a moment.
We don't get so many consents. That's true. Not today. Yeah, once complete.
All right. Mr. Hagee, you have your person?
He's in your custody, Your Honor.
Okay.
Both of you and
Yes.
Pat Montgomery, primary custody judge.
Okay.
Yes. I think we're just for today right now. For today, I've got one case. So, you accept thanks?
Trying to find the
All right,
live
Ms.
Thurston
Compton.
County.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. With regards to Mr. Jumis,
Oh, yes.
he will be here on the 17th. And it's easier for him to do the evaluation if it's in court. So if you'll speak with Ms. Ferguson and Mr. Jumis, we'll have your client brought over on the 17th for him to do the evaluation here. So if you would like to be present, you can.
Okay. I'm usually not present, but I appreciate the heads up.
Sure.
And I will keep that on.
All right. And the other issue, you were not present, but you were number one for jury trial. However, the person who was here in the gray suit who said that he was with the U.S. government, he was,
Mr. Mann.
yeah, he was
Mr. Mann.
speaking to the jurors in the hallway. So I don't feel comfortable with using the jury panel that we have.
And Judge, I'm not quite sure how to handle him. I did talk to Daniel about him, and I did make a call before the holidays to the jail. He has been filing all sorts of stuff in this case. I don't know what his relationship is with his family. I don't talk to them. I've never spoken to him. He has communicated with me threats that he's going to sue me in federal court and all kinds of stuff like that. But the thing that troubles me the most, and I called the jail to let them know, is that he evidently had an attorney visit on the video visit, not a recorded visit, an attorney visit with this guy,
Okay.
with my client. Now,
Whoa.
I tried to find out if they had a record of that or how it happened. My client doesn't know. 'Cause, I mean,
Well, what I've done is I've asked that he not be allowed back in the courthouse. And the deputy took a photo of him. So somebody can let the sheriff know that he's not to have attorney visits if he's not his attorney.
If it's who I'm thinking of, he's also right now a person who is on bond for an aggravated assault. So somebody might want to talk to pretrial services or his bond.
Oh,
All right.
man.
So somebody may want to talk to his pretrial services officer. And honestly, the name that he gave me, I don't even believe that's his real name because he seemed to be stumbling over what his name was. But the deputies did take a photo of him. So I'm sure that's going to be placed at the courthouses and they can place it at the jail as well.
on the Bear County website pretty easy with the name he's been filing things under.
Okay.
And he's filed stuff in my.
And what name did he give?
It's a.
Is it Henry?
Henry.
Okay.
Whatever that name is, that's his name.
All right. So before you leave here today, we'll take up that matter with the sheriff's office.
All right. Now,
And then-
I'd be happy to get some of them on it, because I believe he's holding himself out as an attorney to people, which carries its own set of problems.
All right, we will take care of that. So the people who are up for jury trial, is there any objections to the court excusing the jury? We would start with jury selection tomorrow. Is anyone going to have any objection to that?
I'm here.
Yes, I know you're on a plea. All right. So what I'll do is I'll excuse this jury panel. And because usually what ends up happening, if you don't hold your jurors for the morning selection, you will end up with people who have already been through jury selection 3 or 4 times. And I don't want anybody to be put at a disadvantage because of that. So is there any objection to me excusing the jurors?
No.
All right. So let me go outside and do that. And they're bringing up your clients. And once they're up, we'll take up the pleas.
Okay, so
And I know you have your appointment. So as soon as they bring your person out, we'll take that up.
Judge, what time tomorrow?
Just give me a moment on that. Let me take care of this first. Hi. I should. Do they have the,
Let me go see.
all right, well, let me know. Right.
Wow.
Man, Judge Middleton is now a do not record guy as well. What in the world happened?
Okay, no problem.
Judge Middleton's got a jury trial right now, and he's also got do not record options selected, which I'm not a big fan of.
And Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm anticipating tomorrow, we will start with the jury selection at 11.
But that didn't happen because of the fire and COVID.
Mr.
and
DeLeon,
everything else.
thank you. They will bring your client up.
Reverend Beatty, the funny thing is that doesn't help them at all. It doesn't help them at all.
All right.
I saw him now.
I get an email. Warren, I'm not sure.
We did cover the Superman trial, the sentencing. He got sentenced by the judge that he attacked. She was very just straightforward about it. Didn't talk about the attack at all. The defendant was heavily restrained. Belly chains, shackles, cuffs. He had the safety mittens on that prevent him from being able to grab anything. And it's like a padded little one-finger glove. Gives him like padded hooves instead of hands type setting. He had a spit mask and everything. And then he's appearing also, he's been charged with all these other charges. He appeared on those yesterday. And I guess it's going to take a little time before that happens, but he's being held in jail. He's not going anywhere. Has he always had the do not record on his streams? Okay, waiting for the judge. Who has Doritos in court? What? Didn't know that was a thing. The judge is off the bench excusing the jury. I'll probably find out a little bit about what happened as well. Megan, I believe it is recording. Let's see. Let me try one more. It's recording because we're making a new recording out of it. Big Mike just got your text. I'm going to check that one out as well.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Okay, hold tight. We're trying to get all the feeds lined up. So Judge Wolf may have had a case yesterday we might be able to follow, just a short case. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Also looking up another courtroom. Got Judge King's live.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Let's see what Judge King's covering here. He's not live. Why, Judge? Did you see we're live? Let's see.
I'm not a cat.
Live. There we go. Nope, he shut his off as well. Man, everyone's got short days. Not sure what it is. Mandy Winslow says...
Pat Montgomery.
Oh, sorry, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
You ready?
Yes.
Who's your client? All right, Mr. Henry, if you'll come forward.
Mandy watches at work on a retail location. Thank you very much, Mandy. Glad we can help keep you sane.
And for those of you who are waiting for jury trial, we're going to talk about that scheduling. Court is calling 2023 CR 5595, State of Texas versus Lewis Henry. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Pat Montgomery for Lewis Henry.
Are you Mr. Henry?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications in this case?
There are none.
All right. Mr. Henry, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonish.
What is it?
We don't read the habitual offender allegation. I'm sorry, Judge.
That's okay. Any objections to the waiver?
None, Your Honor.
Judge, we are proceeding under count 1 and waiving count 2. So a couple of changes there. Sorry, Judge.
All right, any objections to those waivers?
None, Your Honor.
So for purposes of the record, the state is waiving count 2 and the enhancement paragraphs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Mr. Henry, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with prohibited substance in a correctional detention juvenile facility?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
This one's a do not record.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record for a moment. So can everyone please make sure you're whispering? It's difficult to hear. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Henry, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. The state will take in consideration NIBAG number 722901, County Court Cause number 713591. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Then to count 1 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Without objection, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We waive any pre-sentence investigation.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just asking the court to follow the deal. If the court's disinclined to do so, I can make some further arguments.
All right. Court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 3 years in the prison. Take in consideration NIBAG number 722901, County Court Cause number 713591. Give you credit for any time served. Would you like to be placed in the, considered for placement in the therapeutic community? Okay. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Henry, fentanyl is a very dangerous drug. So you need to make a decision on what you want to do with the rest of your life. Otherwise, only two options for you: prison, or you may end up being on the news, body found on the side of the street or something. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank
you. Keith Hunt. And this is a motion to set bond?
Yes.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 10503, State of Texas versus Keith Hunt. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn, for state, Your Honor. Brian Kimbrough for Mr. Hunt.
And are you Mr. Hunt?
Yes, ma'am.
We're hearing a motion to set bond. State, have you had a chance to review the motion?
We have, Your Honor.
State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I've conferred and we have a proposed agreement. I'd like to present it to the court.
All right. What is your proposed agreement?
$15,000.
All right. So I need to know something about this case.
Well, Your Honor, was on a $10,000 bond. There was, I believe, an allegation of a violation of protective order. The court remanded with that bond. He was not in custody at the time. He was on bond.
Okay.
He was later picked up on the remand. Now, as I was conferring, it seems that nothing has transpired on that alleged violation of protective order. Hasn't been filed. I'm still seeking some police reports to verify it. But as from what I can tell, nothing has happened on that. But he still has no bond. So conferring with the state, they agreed $15,000 to be approved.
Okay.
And Your Honor, just like counsel stated, so we were able to show counsel some of the, again, it has not been filed, some of the misdemeanor police reports for the video allegation wherein defendant called twice and then, again, as alleged, to have shown up to the house. But then when the complainant opened up the door, he was running away.
All right. Who's the alleged complainant?
It is, name, Your Honor, is Brandy Hall. That's Brandy spelled Brand.
All right. I just have a few questions to ask your client, and this as it relates to whatever conditions of bond that I'm planning to place on him. Mr. Hunt, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Keith Hunt.
All right. Mr. Hunt, if I were to follow this agreement that has been reached, who would you be living with?
My grandparents.
All right. And have you spoken to your grandparents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do they want you to live with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you asked them, may you reside with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And is that location anywhere near the complainant?
No, Your Honor.
The other thing, are there any drug issues with you in the past or present?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever used any marijuana or anything of that nature?
I've used marijuana.
How long ago has that been?
In high school?
Right. Any other drug?
No, ma'am.
Alcohol issues?
No, ma'am.
And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I did have a job, but I don't know if I still have it now, but
okay.
I was working with CCC contractors. I have a CDL. I drive end-up trucks.
Okay. All right. Any mental health issues? Ever been diagnosed or taken any type of mental health medication?
Happy birthday, Nikita.
All right. Anything else?
Just to tell the court, I did speak to his grandparents, and I would verify that he can live with them. They want him out, and they're very supportive.
All right. And is the complainant aware of this?
The complainant is aware that it's on the docket, but not of any potential resolution, Your Honor.
All right. And has the complainant been cooperative?
It's a yes and no, Your Honor. They
Yes,
have
and at the same
fluctuated
time,
between
no.
their cooperativeness with the DA's office.
All right. So I'm going to grant the agreement, but there's to be no contact with the complainant. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That means no phone calls, no going to their home. I don't care if you all say you're trying to work it out. Nobody's ready to do counseling for you all at this point in time. So there's to be no contact. If you have any contact with her, what's going to end up happening, if it's proven, you're potentially looking at having your case heard while you're in custody. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there's to be no contact with Brandy Hall.
Well, Judge Boyd is
Does
going off
your-
on this. Let me show you the cake.
Do your grandparents have a
I finally got it
landline or
working.
cell phone? What is?
Cell phone.
Do they have a landline?
Check out this
No.
cake. Is that incredible? This is Diet Coke Mama's creation.
Are
She
you
just
sure?
whips this up in her
Usually
spare time.
grandparents have a landline. How old are your grandparents?
My grandparents are 75, but they're tech savvy.
I have a landline. Usually everybody has, my mom has a landline. You don't have a landline?
I don't have a
Yes.
landline.
You all will be regretting that if you've seen some of the sci-fi movies we've
I know.
seen.
It goes down, we're all.
All right. Do you want GPS?
The state was referred, Your Honor, yes.
The only problem is, unless it's changed, I think GPS may need a landline.
Is it potentially possible to make that request? And then if that ends up being the case, it would just not be a condition fulfilled, or?
Well, I don't know if you all want to contact the complainant and see what the issue is as far as fear, not fear. I'll order the GPS, but if there's an issue, counsel, where he can't receive the GPS because he doesn't have a landline, have they changed that probation? He's not on probation. So I think they still require a landline. What I can do in exchange for the landline, since he doesn't have a landline, he will be with, I think he's with pretrial services. I'll make him report to them weekly.
Your Honor, that would be perfect. Thank
That'd
you.
be fine.
Okay.
All right.
All right, report to pretrial services weekly. And that will be until further notice.
Sounds like the GPS
All right,
has a
where are we on
component
discovery
that
on this
stays
case? I
attached
think
to
we're
your
coming
phone.
back on January 30th.
That's it.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give him a resets form for January 30th in case he's released.
Oh,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you again, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Are
Diet
we
Coke,
all ready on? Yeah, they're done.
Diet
Any
Coke
case
Mama.
that's ready?
Mrs. R.A. hung out with family on both sides, and
All right.
her favorite day was being with you.
Sarah on Zoom. Might be right.
Have we sworn him in on this? Yeah. Oh, I guess we gotta wait. I think we're still waiting, swearing him in on Zoom.
All right, anyone who's ready, just please approach and let us know you're ready.
How do you wonder who's swearing him in? He doesn't have a. Can she just stand in front?
Sure. Are you all ready to swear him in? Okay.
Or you want me to?
This is yesterday's proceedings for Judge Boyd, which we missed. We could either do that or we. Oh, hey, Mr.
So,
Aztec.
Can you unmute, please, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's got the mandatory ceiling
You're going to
fan.
be sworn in.
You can raise your right hand. Are you Stephen Asura, cause number 2022 CR 8996?
Yes.
The cause number is his name.
Are you familiar with exhibits and stipulations attached? Do you solemnly swear that they are true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Are you familiar with this jury waiver, and has your attorney explained to you your constitutional rights, and do you understand them?
Yes.
Is it your desire to enter this plea and waive your right to a jury trial?
Yes.
Thank you.
Deputy Lord, I think there's a delay on his end, so I don't know if you want to.
It's not our fault. It's the that.
Ah, okay.
Trying to see what that's in his background. Is that a desk with the logo, that yellow and red logo on the far right of his screen?
And on Sarah, is this going to be an application?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Abrams, on Ansir's, it's an application, but he's by Zoom.
So how's he going to sign?
And Your Honor, we'll be asking for the probation to be transferred to New York.
Okay. Well, I would tell you, they can't, you probably want to speak with Miss Abrams about that because he's not transferred until he's transferred.
We're, I think we're okay with this because we never appeared in court or, so I think we're okay with it.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I see the dartboard now.
Oh,
I don't know why I couldn't.
Okay.
That's my case.
All right.
I thought we were about to do it.
Need to practice not zooming in. Jen, Joe, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We've got a couple options. We have Thurston
you ready
County is
on
also
yours?
live right now.
All right.
We've got a
Serta?
case from Judge Wolf, motions in a second-degree murder trial from yesterday as well. All different things we can watch right now, just not a lot of live trials.
This side. You can move in 2024.
Yeah, if you could print it out because it didn't come
Four
through
is
on
live
my
as well.
email.
I don't have it in my phone. Usually it goes to you.
Nothing's come to me. Let me see if it's here now.
Did you sign?
I only had one thing to sign, and that was his application for community supervision. That's it.
Okay, we might go to District 4, Thurston. This one's looking
So we
really
can
good.
find out where it went. All right, Virginia Cerna.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a court we've been to several times.
Good morning. So what is happening with this case?
Judge, I believe the defense has a motion to set bond.
Okay.
Yes, Judge, Your Honor, I apologize. I didn't have Ms. Cerna on my schedule this morning, so that's why we're here in the afternoon. However, her original bond for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon case was $15,000. It got revoked to without bond because she picked up 3 charges of aggravated robbery back in late October of last year. Finally, last week, the San Antonio Police Department provided the district attorney's office police reports, all kinds of discovery, which I've finally been able to review and seen. I don't know how much we want to get into it here, but we're strongly disputing the facts of the aggravated robbery. So what we're asking the court is to reinstate her bond of $15,000 and her 3 charges of aggravated robbery are listed at $75,000 each. We're going to ask for a reduction of that to $10,000, something she can make. She has been incarcerated for the past
Today marks 2 months.
2 months. Additionally, she has a young 2-year-old child, a child who just had surgery on her ear, nose, and throat because of a cyst going on. She needs to be at home. She's a nursing student. She's getting close to completing her nursing degree. We'd like to get her at least the opportunity to be out on a bond where.
All right, State, are you prepared to proceed on a motion for bond?
I'm prepared on the motion to set bond on the underlying charge, Judge. I'm not prepared on the motion to modify or lower the bond on the 3 new aggravated robberies, Judge.
So when would you be ready on those cases?
3 new aggravated
Judge,
robbery.
I just didn't really have this. I thought we were going to picking a jury right now instead of.
All right, this is what I'll do. I understand that you've been in jail and you want to proceed. I will bring this back on January 11th. Is that enough time, State?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll come back on January 11th. Are you available? If not, we can do it on the 16th.
No, I'd like to get it done as soon as possible, Judge. I do have a trial setting the 144th on the 11th, but if we can do it sooner in the morning versus later.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah,
happy to
if you're
do it.
at 9 a.m., we'll take it up at 9 a.m.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes.
And Judge, for terms of preparing, are you looking to see facts and circumstances of the new aggravated robbery cases?
I mean, if you all want to present police reports for me, then I'd be willing to view those. Since it's a bond reduction, hearsay is allowed. So I'll be prepared to look at those.
Yay, hearsay. All right, we're gonna bail on this. We're gonna jump over to Thurston County.
All right, so we'll come back on Thursday at 9 a.m. I would put you on Wednesday, but
Thank you, Judge. We're gonna pick up right here on Thurston County because court is just beginning right now. I don't know what this trial is, but This is we're like a minute or two behind. This is happening right now. And we've seen a couple good court cases out here. PNW, obviously PNW transparency. This looks like the same room. Different judge or magistrate.
Great, thanks, Teresa. So we're now on record and live streaming here at Thurston County District Court. We've got several things to take care of. Be lined up here. Let's see. All right, so Mr. Stillwell and your client is this Mr. Wakeman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then Ms. Mann, hello.
Hi, Your Honor.
And you've got with you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Mullen on behalf of the state.
Okay, so you're supervising as a Rule 9 here?
For this morning, yes. Mr. Thompson will be here this afternoon.
Okay, maybe just to protect Ms. Mann and the RPCs, maybe you can put on the record your experience so that you qualified.
Your Honor, I've been a licensed attorney in Washington State since 2012. I've been with the Thurston County Prosecutor's Office since May of 2017. I'm currently assigned to the General Felonies Division.
Perfect. All right.
General
so,
felonies.
Mr. Wakeman's here for trial today. Ms. Mann, are you state ready or state? Yeah, state ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Stillwell?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Okay. I'm just going to take a moment here and talk about the little I know about this. You know, it's from the pleadings, from the citation that has a small paragraph about what the state thinks happened. And it's not really about this case in particular, but just in general here, what we're trying to do in the district court and courts of limited jurisdiction. And I want you all to take this to heart and think and talk to each other about whether trial is really the best resource, the best use of your resources, the best thing for Mr. Wakeman. I know that's your obligations on each side. So what we try to do here is rehabilitation. The Supreme Court has told the courts of limited jurisdiction and district courts across the state, that's what we try to do is rehabilitation. One of the many things. And part of that is accountability. Part of that is someone coming forward and saying, yeah, I messed up. I see that from what I can see here in Washington, Mr. Wakeman doesn't have a history. He's 16 years old still. Is that right, Mr. Still?
Yes.
And going forward today, which may be appropriate considering what the attorneys decide and Mr. Wakeman decides, but going forward today could give him a permanent criminal record. Permanent criminal record at 16. What does that mean? You know, that means, and it may be appropriate, but I'm just, let's all think about that. It means every job, even at the Jack in the Box. It means every volunteer opportunity he has to sell them have been convicted. School funding, FAFSA, college, community college, apartments, living on the dorm, all of that. Yep, I've got a conviction. There are lots of places he may lose jobs, he may lose opportunities because of that. So, and that's kind of what happens in the real world, and that's not a direct consequence of this case, but I think it's something that needs to be thought about when we're thinking about rehabilitation, because what we're trying to do is make better drivers and better citizens. All right,
It's a driving offense.
And then this court looks at parity. I mean, all of the judges in this court, long histories of trial lawyers, criminal trial lawyers doing this work. And we take pleas day in and day out. And the attorneys come to all sorts of really creative and interesting resolutions that we support for things like DUIs and second DUIs. And this is important from the little I know, if the state's facts are to be proved, and not a good thing that happened if the state's facts hold up and are proved, but it's not a DUI. And we routinely, day in and day out, are finding creative solutions to those things for first and even second time DUIs that court doesn't know the background and is supporting those resolutions, but this is not that. So, and there are lots of creative and sensible ways to resolve things. It does provide accountability, and it provides rehabilitation is what the hope is. And maybe, it just from the outside, I don't know what all the attorneys know, but from the outside, a 16-year-old with no record permanent criminal record. I don't know if that's justice or rehabilitation. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You all know something more than I do, but it demands that the defendant step up too and say, yeah, okay, I messed up. And it also, there are creative solutions. So
she doesn't want this to go to trial.
Just like y'all to think about that.
Can I get out
while
of
I
this?
take care of all these other cases and what we're going to do there that are on the docket here, and see if they're still going to trial, if we're doing something else, if we're making other decisions. I don't know. But that's just my observations from what I don't know that you know. So there you go. So I'm going to jump to other cases here to clean up the record before we get back to this, and then give you a chance to discuss
confer
if any of that makes any sense.
Reach an agreement,
and I don't know
and then
if we're
tell
going
me
to need
about
the tables or not. Everybody's online or what? So Ms. Rowe, when I jump to you, you look like you're ready to go.
Hello, Attorney Rowe. Good to see you again.
I am, Your Honor. I'm here on the Ward matter.
I know that we talked, I don't know, last week, a couple of weeks ago, confirmation. A warrant was already issued on one case, and we kept this set, and we understand that she's living out of state now, at least that's what we think. And she's not here today.
That's correct, Your Honor.
She should not be here. Yeah, it's not. I'm gonna call you up.
The parties in the courtroom do not appear to be conferring. Instead, they're
I'm going to
searching.
get my jabs open here.
They're saying this is not a DUI. She said
And
twice.
if I could just
not
make
a
the record,
DUI.
Your Honor.
She said in
You know,
DUI
with
cases,
the-
even repeat
the
DUI
things
cases,
going
we come
here.
to agreements. And here,
Nothing.
you're pushing for a
Yeah.
conviction, and this is not a DUI. So it must be something lesser than a DUI. A 16-year-old kid. She's like, you're really pushing to get something on the record. There's got to be something you can do, a solution that maybe would be a better outcome for everybody. Considering we want him to be a better driver.
Success. So Ms. Rowe,
And we don't
Your
want
Honor,
to destroy his
for the
life.
record, I am the attorney of record for the Michelle Ward case. Miss Ward is currently residing in North Carolina and
Woohoo, North Carolina.
does not have the funds at all to fly back to Washington. So she will not be present for this trial. She understands the potential ramifications of her actions, but simply wants to inform the court that she has absolutely zero funds to buy tickets to come back to Washington.
when did she, do you know when she left Washington with these cases pending?
Yesterday. Just kidding. Don't know.
If the court, I don't know exactly when she left, but she's been gone for months.
Okay. She's on probation with this court going back as far as 2019 on that deferred prosecution, and then then these two cases came up. So I don't find that as any basis not to consider issuing a warrant on this case, 3A19735. She made that decision, and we can't have trials without her present physically here. So, Ms. Mann, are you on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's the state asking.
The state's requesting that the court issue a bench warrant that was already ordered on the 3rd of January.
And
want to check JetBlue?
This matter, I don't remember that we did that. We've issued a no bail, no walk warrant on the post-conviction matter. We 25,000 cash bond, no walk on the previous matter that just didn't show up for trial. And then, so Ms. Rowe, any response to the state's request?
Your Honor, I will defer to the court.
Okay. Well, I'll issue a 25,000 cash bond warrant, no walk, as well for this matter. Failure to appear a jury without good cause. And do you have any other clients today, Ms. Ward? Ms. Rowe?
I don't, Your Honor, not in this courtroom. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks, Ms. Rowe.
And then Going back to the top, well, let me clean up the Lacey Lee matter, and then I'll get to Mr. Foster. Is Lacey Lee present? Present. We were here, just looking at the docket, December 29th for confirmation. I was on the bench. 10,000 cash for bond warrant was issued, but wondering if she didn't appear today, wanted to give her that chance. We haven't heard from any attorneys or from her. Let's see. The 10th, somebody called, defendant called, we think, advised of case status. Let me make sure is that right. And advised of the case status. So
how about this
still
one?
Not here.
There you go, Becky.
After 9, Ms. Mann, anything
Appreciate your
from
comments.
the
Thanks for being here.
State.
Just the state's requesting a $10,000 warrant, Your Honor.
The state is not pulling punches at all
$10,000
today.
warrant that I issued and held is now going to, or ordered and held is now going to issue. Ms. Jones' failure to appear for trial. And, Ms. Lacey's failure to appear for trial. We've got Ms. Jones here on Zoom with her attorney, Mr. Foster.
Bring him in.
Hi, Mr. Foster. And Ms. Jones, why don't you?
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, all right. Jesse.
Yes.
There you are.
Jesse with the beard.
All right. So we got
Spider-Man
your
shirt
vote,
as well.
and we set this for a change of plea, Mr. Foster.
Yes, Your Honor. I know we spoke last week, and I was hopeful we'd be able to find a resolution to this case. That does not seem that it's going to happen. So we are going to be asking to just reschedule this for trial.
All right. So we did grant a good cause motion, struck the jury dates. All right. So we'll get this reset on the trial track. Mr. Jones, let me just make sure we've got everything. Did you get our text message reminder for today?
Yes, I did.
You did, and we're still sending mail to a Lacey address,
Yeah, I got
3406 Street Southeast.
Yes, I did receive that mail.
All right, so we're in, where are we? We're in an excluded period as we granted that continuance.
Deanne, thanks for gifting a membership here.
But we'll get this set.
That one went to Lorianne.
Unless you're filing a speedy trial waiver,
Lorraine.
Mr. Foster.
I think we have one through February 20th.
Okay, let's look at that. Make sure.
I don't know. The guy combed his beard. You know, how much can you expect from one person to do to prep for a court? Clearly, the beard is well groomed. What was that?
I don't think
Somebody
you do.
like
I
getting
don't
dressed
see
in the
one.
background.
Do you have one that you think you filed? I don't see anything in the court file.
Yeah, back in November, we had filed a speedy trial waiver, so I can get that over to the court.
Your notice of appearance, November. There's a notice of appearance in November, and then we were present November 22nd, future court dates to remain. So is that your intention then to file a speedy trial waiver or leave this within an excluded period to set the trial dates?
Yeah, well, like I indicated, there was, and Mr. Jones and I did execute a speedy trial waiver with a commencement date of November 22nd.
He's
and
clearly innocent.
Expiration
He's got a halo.
of February 20th of this year.
Look at it shine.
So I can email that over to the court. I thought that was filed with the court already.
Yeah, let's put that to rest. If Teresa, is there a place that you can get it directly to you? If you give me. So, Mr. Foster, my clerk's going to put her email in the chat, then send directly to her. And then we'll just kind of put that to rest before I lose the two of you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'll complete the file again to us to be sure. Maybe it was attached to your notice of appearance. Nope. Confirmation and jury. And so we're looking for the speedy trial waiver.
He's wearing the Spider-Man shirt too, the Amazing Spider-Man. So it's the good version. He's clearly on the right side. He's on the side of good. Not sure why we're even proceeding with this, Judge. And these Zoom cameras are hyper switching with every sound in the courtroom. The sensitivity of the mic needs to be turned down, and it's they've got a setting turned on which is called video follows audio. So if there's a sound that the microphone thinks comes from a certain part of the room or is picked up on a certain microphone, it switches to that camera. It's a really cool feature as far as Zoom goes. But sometimes it can be too sensitive and there can be echoes or a lot of noise in a room and it gets confusing. And that's why we just get thrown around this courtroom from camera to camera like this.
While we're doing this, I'm just dealing with Mr. Foster and his client. I guess I still need this man unless there's anything to add. It's going to reset for confirmation and jury dates within a speedy trial waiver that we're getting here presently.
No, Your Honor, that sounds good to the state.
Okay, so then, Mr. Stillwell, Ms. Mann, you can take a powder. We'll take a little recess after all this. I'm just busy with Mr. Foster right now. I don't need a review.
She's trying to give them as much time as possible to confer. They don't seem to be doing anything. 16-year-old wants to fight the charges. State wants to throw the book at him, and could be bad. Could be bad. Just from what the judge has read, it sounds like the state will probably win or has some good evidence in this case. Where her advice, possibly to that young defendant, their 16-year-old, we believe it's a driving charge. Her advice is like, look, you don't want this on your record. You don't want to.
It should be sent over now.
Consider accepting a plea.
Okay.
Plea to something lower. And also to the state, possibly, do you really want to
we've got that file,
go for this? He's 16.
So we'll get it set within that speedy trial framework of ending February 20th. And then if I'll just have calendaring do that and send that out. If you want any input on that, Mr. Foster, then just contact calendaring, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Mr. Frog has a new court date coming up.
Mr. Jones,
but I think he's going to miss that one.
We'll mail you notice and send you text message reminders. And see you next time, Mr. Foster.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
All right, thank you. So that clears the deck. So let me take a recess.
Ooh, recess.
And be back in 15 or so.
Okay, so she takes a quick recess. Let's go right here. Let's see, what court was that? That was Thurston 4, right? We don't want Daryl Brooks. Whoever has this video, honestly, whoever has this video, I think it's Fox 6 News Milwaukee. It's got 1 million views on this Daryl Brooks video because it's the next one to play. I think 750,000 of those views are my stream when it defaults from one feed to the same feed to the next feed, like it defaults to another video. That is the one video it goes to, no matter what I'm watching. It's like, oh, now you want to watch Fox 6 copy of Daryl Brooks from last year. So you're welcome, Fox 6. I gave you all the views. Daryl Brooks is this channel's unpaying sponsor. He's living rent-free in my head. Mr. Frog saying he skipped court just to see. Oh my goodness, this was a boss move like no other. Ivan talking about Mr. Frog skipped court just to see who would serve the search warrant. Just to see who would show up at his door. He's like, oh yeah, what agency is going to come and try to get me? That's, come and get me. I want to see who it is. It was hilarious. At the same time, it's a little bit of a mock to the court. He has dragged out his cases for quite some time, filing a lot of motions, which the judges, I say judges because he's got some recused. The judges have not been very fond of, just taking time. Let's see. We've got a 15-minute break. That's not enough to cover the events that happened in Judge David Wolf's docket. Just trying to see if we can get this pulled up here. He had some motions in a second-degree murder trial that started yesterday. Let's see if we can take a look at those as well. Let me know as soon as Thurston comes back, and we'll jump back. So we are literally court hopping between trials here. But So we now just jumped to Tennessee.
What is this case again?
Please don't tell me it's
Curtis, that DA watch.
The law clerk gets her own on-camera appearance. Morning, Your Honor. Suit coat instead of the robe. Bold choice. Ooh, got the gilded buttons, though. 4 buttons on each sleeve. Not that cheap 3 buttons.
So everything up and running as far as we can tell?
Yes, it looks like everything's going okay.
So the lawyers just got here, so we'll get started in a minute.
So we're going to skip ahead just briefly. Judge steps off the bench. We watch the judicial law clerk do what judicial law clerks do, which is look at the Zoom camera and shift positions every couple seconds. There we go. Judge is back.
This court, the United States, is a great state of Tennessee. Be seated, please.
We have one case that was set for trial today, State versus Curtis Day. And it's my understanding we're going to be dealing with a motion by the state, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Either side wish to make an opening statement? Kind of clarify what the issues are.
Yes, Judge. So the state has filed this motion. I believe it's permitted under Rule 12 to ask the court to consider any issue in the case prior to the commencement of a trial. Of course, I'm not going to belabor, what I said in the motion, which was that it would, improve judicial efficiency and all that sort of thing. But the issue is basically this. In this case, we have an individual, Jordan Knight. There is no dispute that his purchase of narcotics, the distribution to him of narcotics, was in Davidson County. The entire, however, his response to that overdose happened at the place where at the time he was residing here in Cheatham County. The state was proceeding initially under the established case law, which says that the death of the person in this type of second-degree murder is an element of the case. And of course, under the rules of criminal procedure, the case can be prosecuted in any county in which an element occurs. However, it turns out that as a result of extraordinary emergency intervention, Your Honor will see this, Jordan Knight, his heart was ultimately, though it was stopped for the duration of the evidence you're going to hear about here in Cheatham County, they were ultimately able to start his heart after transporting him to Northcrest, which is in Springfield, which is in Robertson County. And after that, he was life flighted to Vandy, and he was not declared dead until Vandy.
So this is a second-degree murder case in which the defendant is charged with second-degree murder based upon the sale of narcotics upon which the victim in the case overdosed and passed away. Is that
correct, Judge?
And so your argument or your question is because he overdosed and his heart stopped in Cheatham County, but was resuscitated and then finally transported to Robertson County,
and then ultimately
died there. Narcotics purchased in Davidson County, used in Cheatham County, that resulted in his heart stopping, clinically dead, so to speak, but resuscitated and transported to Robertson County, where he ultimately passed.
So they're tried in the Cheatham
He
County.
ultimately declared dead in Davidson County after being life flighted from Robertson. And so
this is a jurisdiction
today,
issue.
the state is going to put on all of the proof of everything that happened here in Cheatham County, Judge. This would be, in essence, a trial run of everything Your Honor would see in the trial that happened in Cheatham County. Did I say that right? The second degree. If after hearing that proof, Your Honor would be inclined to find as a matter of law that that's insufficient to establish venue. If Your Honor finds that I think would be the wrong answer and a sort of technicality type answer, that the intervention that took the decedent out of the county somehow removes the venue that we otherwise would have, then I would ask Your Honor to rule that. I would ask Your Honor not to rule that, but if Your Honor rules that, then the state would like it to be ruled in response to this hearing and motion rather than after a jury dispute.
Mr. Atchison?
Judge, the defense's first position, just to get it on the record, would be that it's my initial opinion that the state is seeking an advisory opinion based on what I feel like is the greater issue in a trial setting. However, General Arnold's correct. There's no dispute that the purchase of these narcotics occurred in Davidson County. The co-defendant of which has already been convicted in this court of that transaction, albeit it did not occur in Cheatham County either. There is obviously statements that have been made through this investigation wherein, at least from the defense's perspective, that Mr. Knight began to overdose while still inside of Davidson County. And I feel as if the state, without saying it outright, while I do commend the efforts of EMTs and the emergency response, I feel the state is trying to negate the main principle in which Mr. Knight did not pass away in Cheatham County. He ultimately passed away 2 days later at Vanderbilt. Now, there's case law, Judge, that specifically states that the legislature's intent was not for this to be a continuation crime like that of kidnapping or DUI, for a few examples. Furthermore, there's case law that suggests that this purchase of narcotics, there was no idea on the part of the person who sells said narcotics that the individual would travel outside of that county. But again, the medical examiner, through her report, through EMS reports, Jordan Knight's heart did not stop in Cheatham County to where he was pronounced deceased. He ultimately had a heartbeat. He had circulation through the report that I have in discovery, and he was transported for continued care. So it's the defense's opinion that if that continued care were not necessary, there would not have been a transport. I feel like the state is trying to, at least based on the motion, state feels slighted that venue changed based on emergency personnel response. And Judge, that's just not how the statute's written. That's not how the case law is laid out for this type of charge.
The hand that keeps appearing on the right-hand side of the screen, that is actually the long arm of the law.
Occurred in Davidson County, and that's undisputed. And thereby, it'd be the defense's position that venue does not allow in this court. I'd go as far as to say subject matter jurisdiction does not allow in this court, Judge.
All right.
There was subject matter jurisdiction right at the end.
Mr. Arnold, you may put on your proof.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would Your Honor like the witnesses to be sworn and then?
Is the rule requested? Room has been requested, so we'll just have anyone who's going to be a witness other than the parties or the designated law enforcement representative.
Out of the
Let's
room.
go outside of the courtroom and remain outside of the courtroom until they're called to testify.
And Your Honor, just one question. I noticed that Mr. Davis. Oh, okay. So he will be present.
He's coming.
Yes.
Is he in custody?
Yes. So, Your Honor, if I could have.
Don't we need to wait for the defendant before we start putting on proof?
That's a good idea.
Yes. Shouldn't the defendant be here at his trial? Doesn't he have like a right to face his accusers and all that? Isn't there something, somebody wrote that in some document a long time ago? Okay, so we're probably gonna pause at this point as we're jumping back and forth between courts. We are gonna finish up the Thurston case as soon.
Yes, Judge, and I believe
Internet is down.
the deputy said that we could keep them back in the.
Put him in the jury room as far as I can tell. The door is open.
And Your Honor, the state does have one witness who is here in her capacity as an expert, medical examiner.
Right.
And I would respectfully request, in accordance with the rules governing expert witnesses, she be allowed to hear the other proof from the EMTs.
Any issue about that, Mr. Atchison?
Judge, I mean, it would be my assumption, which could be problematic, that she had received all the medical notes.
So the rule that we're dealing with is the rule that allows an expert witness to sit in the courtroom to hear the testimony of other expert witnesses.
And I think if we were in a trial setting,
I don't think it matters whether you're a trial. The rule applies whether it's a motion hearing or a trial, I think. So we'll allow did you say it's a medical examiner? Right. We'll allow the medical examiner to remain on as a witness, as an expert witness under that rule. All right. Then if we have all of our witnesses sequestered away, we now have a defendant in the courtroom. Anyone who's going to be a state's witness, let's go outside.
Nobody's leaving, so maybe they just don't have any witnesses. Or maybe they're already outside. So this hearing is just to determine if they have jurisdiction over this case. Weird case. It's
Mr. Arnold, are you planning on playing a video on this big screen TV?
I was hoping to, Judge.
That's fine. I just wanted, we've had some technical difficulties with the use of that and the sound system. So but let's give it a try.
Thank you.
You'll have to plug it up directly.
I got you. Thank you.
okay, still waiting for Thurston County. We're going to pause this one when it's time. As a matter of fact, let's pause right now.
And Your Honor,
no, and your honors. Don't try to squeeze something in when I told you we were pausing. We're going to back up just a little bit. All right. Here's what we want to do. We want to cover. We want to cover Thurston County. This proceeding from yesterday from Judge Wolf here in Cheatham County, Tennessee. We want to see what happens there. This is an interesting case because they're arguing about subject matter jurisdiction, and that's something that we bring up every.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
That was Daryl Bark's big question. But the question is, does this court have jurisdiction to hear this case? And this is a second-degree murder trial where you've got a defendant accused of selling drugs to somebody in another county. That person took the drugs in another county. He had a health condition in the other county, transferred, came through this county, was resuscitated, taken to another county, and died somewhere else. And so they're like, well, because he was here and part of the crime occurred here, then we're going to try him here. And it's not the strongest of arguments that I've heard for that. I realize that their law allows, if any part of the crime occurred there, he can be charged in that jurisdiction for all of the crime. But this is not one of those crimes. He said this wasn't a continuing crime. Like, you get a DUI, you go to a bar, you drink too much, you hop in your car and you drive across 3 counties. Any one of those 3 counties could charge him for everything that happened. Not like that. It's not like kidnapping where you kidnap somebody and you take them across different county lines. Any county could charge them in that kidnapping charge. This is somebody who bought drugs from him, overdosed on those drugs, had a medical emergency, and as a result of the overdose was resuscitated and then later passed away. And they're saying because at some point after he bought the drugs and took the drugs, he was in our county, then we want to pursue that. So let's see. Check in with Thurston County one more time. It looks like they are live, so we're going to jump back to Thurston County right now. Oh, perfect timing too.
All right, so we're back in session. So Ms. Mann, ready to go to trial on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stillwell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is this the same video?
It's extra. I had lots of things filed here. It looks like there's an amended complaint from the state, but it doesn't look like it does anything more than simply cite, or particularly than the citation that was filed by law enforcement. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stillwell, anything about that amended complaint? All right, so we're back in session. Ms. Mann, ready to go to
Somebody's
trial?
watching the live stream.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So,
Okay, and now the live stream is off because instead of fixing the speaker problem, they fixed the live stream problem and killed the stream. So now we need to go back and find the new stream. See if they're back again. We are waiting for them.
state, yes, ma'am. Mr. Stillwell? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So,
You can't make this stuff up, guys. We're struggling to get the feed going without the audio disrupting the court. Says they're live.
all right, so we're back in session. Ms. Mann, ready to go?
The feed is just looping at the very end. They're turning it off and on again. We're thwarted at every turn today. It's been a little bit frustrating. For sure, Becca. We give them just a minute to get their court feeds up and running properly. Let's search for Thurston County, District 4. There's the feed. Oh, there's another one up. There's District 4 with 2 people watching. Is that the new one? No, that's the old one. That was 4 minutes ago. Thurston County, District 4. Not live. It might be time to break for lunch and come back and catch this on the rewatch. Is that good to do, Gordon? I know you've been asking. You've been asking about lunch, and you deserve a lunch. I mean, everyone deserves to be able to to eat some lunch. We have to be back on the record, though. All right, let's do that. Let's take lunch, and we'll figure out what happened to this after the fact. Hopefully we get to watch this court, and they can figure out their technical difficulties. We will go ahead and assign our internet expert to help them out today as well. So let's take a lunch. Give us an hour. We'll come back at 1:45. Does that work? 1 hour lunch? I'm excited. My daughter says we've got fish sticks and French fries we're cooking right now. That was her pick, so we're gonna have that. Lunch just arrived, says Becca. Fantastic timing. That's what I saw. Actually, I saw them coming through the door, and I was thinking, okay, we better take a break here because Becca's gonna be gone. She's gonna be eating. We don't want to miss any of your wit or your typos in your messages either. So, all right, we're gonna have a quick lunch. 9:45 here, Kevin. I'm sorry, you're on the other part of the world where the sun is not cooperating with our schedule. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again. It will be in 1 hour. We'll be here hopefully watching the rest of the Thurston trial. We'll watch the rest of the Judge Wolf trial out of Tennessee. This is a motion of that second-degree murder. We're getting closer to having a court actually start that we can watch, so we can follow from beginning to end, which will possibly take weeks to do. Let's what we usually follow. So any day now. All right, is that it? Ciao. I think that's it. That's good. I'm gonna leave you with this beautiful image. I don't recommend this is all you eat for lunch, but if you have the opportunity to eat this for lunch, I highly recommend it. Mrs. R.A. said it was delicious. Great work once again. This is from our fantastic Diet Coke Mama in chat. Good friend of Mrs. R.A.'s, and they were able to hang out this week, and she made this cake for Mrs. R.A.'s birthday. So thank you so much. Thanks for treating my wife great. All right, we'll see you guys after lunch. Be good to each other. I don't know. I need my outro. Yeah, I messed it up. All right, be good to each other. All the fun things.